This game on Sunday in Orchard Park, at first glance, seems like two very different teams facing off. Buffalo has an offense of headliners that have the potential to turn it on and blow the doors off some of the best teams in the league. And then you have a Steelers team, down their best player, team leader, and starting a quarterback that began the season in street clothes on the sideline. But the closer you look at these two teams, at least the last couple of weeks, the more similar, Tommy, they begin to feel. And I think you're allowed to question if that could present some issues for the Bills when they try to take their first step towards a run at the Super Bowl. You're hanging out in the break room, Rochester's Classic Rock 96.5. WCMF, if you're trying to watch a live stream this morning, our engineers are literally in the middle of fixing the issue. It's a little bit delayed.
Oh, you can't watch us talk?
Chopped up, but our boy Derek is on it. He's the best in the game.
He's the wizard.
Come on. Yeah, so just give it a little time. And you can always listen to us on the Odyssey app or any other radio.
Yeah.
Buy yourself a radio. Just after 7 o'clock. It's Friday. You know what that means.
Oh, we're going to creep it out, buddy.
Creep Cap coming at you, all the disgusting things Tommy said all week, and an 11-year-old boy in our area who is doing something remarkable.
Really?
And if you were his mother or father, as much as you have to continue to
support
him, you'd have to be terrified out of your mind.
So you got to join him in his venture?
Mm-hmm.
You want to support a dream, yeah.
We'll get to it just after 7 o'clock here in the break room. On CMF, Bills Steelers Sunday, Wild Card Weekend, 1 o'clock live on CMF. Tommy will be hanging out at the Bill Gray's Tap Room in Chi-Li.
That's party time, buddy.
Bro, that's the spot.
Oh, of course it is.
I love that spot.
Yeah, they love me out there.
Yeah, no, everyone on the West Side loves you.
They do.
All you West Siders that have heard Tommy say what he said for all those years, he will be at the Bill Gray's Tap Room in Chi-Li.
They were complimenting my hair.
It is remarkable to stand back and look at what the Bills have accomplished over the last 5 weeks. To go from 6-6 and the 11th seed in the AFC after that loss to Philly in overtime, to win 5 straight games, win the division on the road in prime time in spectacular fashion on the last day of the season, and secure the second best record in the conference. And it feels, Tommy, based on that run, the Bills might be a team of destiny.
Okay.
Not only that, this week you have a lowly 7 seed that snuck into the playoffs to get by coming to your house.
Damn. Come on.
When you take a closer look at this Pittsburgh team, there's a little something unsettling.
What?
These two teams are shockingly similar. The Steelers, like the Bills, were sitting at 500 not too long ago. Tommy, they were 7-7, and they needed to go on a run to make the playoffs. Steelers won 3 straight, including 2 on the road, to get where they are right now. And in reality, they're only a game back of the Bills right now. The similarities don't end there.
What else?
Last weekend of the season, both the Steelers and the Bills needed help from the same team to guarantee a playoff spot. The Steelers don't make the playoffs without a Jags loss on Sunday. The Bills needed that to ensure the game Sunday night wasn't an all-or-nothing affair. Both of these teams had their potential playoff hopes riding on the Jags at 1 o'clock last weekend. And there's one more thing that ties these two games together.
What's that?
With the Bills, let me try this again. The QB determines where these teams go.
Right.
Josh Allen almost cost the Bills in that game in Miami, and at the same time was the best player on the field all night long.
Yeah.
So he needs to have his moments, or this Bills team could be SOL. The Steelers are now totally reliant on the steady play of former third-string quarterback Mason Rudolph.
He's a child.
Tommy, he's been on fire the last 3 weeks.
Yeah, but that's going to go.
He had 290 yards passing against Cincy. He had 274 yards passing in Seattle on the road. He only had 152 against the Ravens, but that was a Super Bowl rain game.
Yeah.
Most amazing. Mason Rudolph, Steelers quarterback that will start on Sunday, has yet to throw an interception in those 3 games.
So, but has he been around or no?
He's been around, yes. Right. He was their starting quarterback for a little while, and they drafted this Pickett kid, and that didn't work out. So,
but I mean, how many years in the league?
4 or 5.
Oh, okay.
3, 4,
right.
Something like that.
He's definitely not a rookie.
All right.
Mason Rudolph, he's shown this season too. He can hit the big play at any moment, which is what won them that game in Baltimore. These two teams that look the opposite of each other are not all that different.
All right.
Both coming in with a chip on their shoulder.
Didn't Tomlin and McDermott go to college together?
That's another issue.
Yep.
Sean McDermott and Steelers head coach Mike Tomlin were teammates and roommates while playing football together at William and Mary.
Which is weird because I always think of Tomlin as like super old because he's just been a coach for so long.
Yeah. What has he been in the league now? 17 years?
That's a good question.
And he's McDermott's age.
Yeah.
Is that nuts? The fact that the Bills are double-digit favorites might also be concerning because the same thing, Tommy, happened last year in the wild card round against Miami, and that game came down to the final drive with third-string quarterback Skylar Thompson starting for the Miami Dolphins.
All right.
Now, it's
so
not
you're worried.
Worried's the wrong way to put it.
All right.
Concern's the wrong way to put it. Maybe, just maybe.
It's not a cakewalk.
Yeah, I don't think it's the cakewalk everyone thinks it's going to be on Sunday. Is that a fair statement?
Yeah, there's a lot of factors going into it, too. I think weather's a huge one. I think, we even saw this last year. It could be anybody's game when the weather's a toss-up like that.
Do you think bad weather benefits the Bills or the Steelers, Kimmy?
I got to say the Steelers.
Why?
It limits the Bills' offense, which has already limited themselves as of recently.
Okay.
I just think the Bills' offense needs all the help it can get.
252 WCMF 252-9263. We have seen Josh be able to chuck that ball around in all kinds of terrible weather. Even in that hurricane game when they started throwing in the fourth quarter.
No doubt he can't throw the ball, but with his accuracy being in question lately.
You're going to bring up Josh Allen accuracy issues, Kimmy?
Here's the thing.
Josh is a hero.
Josh is a hero because Josh put himself in a position where he had to be a hero.
Oh, here we go.
Is that a wrong thing to say?
Do you agree
that's your opinion?
Do you agree with Kimmy on that one, Tommy?
Well, a little bit. He does jackass around a little bit. He tries to do these little flip it moves sometimes where he should just get rid of the damn ball. Where he's going down and he's trying to shuffle it over to this guy and he's pulling these moves.
And I don't even know.
He plays too loose in the ass sometimes.
Is that that loose in the ass wins you ball games,
It
baby?
does, but it can also bite your loose ass.
I also don't, for whatever reason,
Yes.
The receivers on this team, I don't know if they're running the wrong routes or what, but they just have not been on the same page with Josh.
There's been a couple of moments like that
where they're running in the
weeks.
complete wrong direction, or he's throwing it in the wrong direction. I don't know which is which,
Didn't he go 30 of 38 last week? He was 75%, and you're going to complain that they're not on the same page?
They weren't.
What do you want, a perfect game?
Well, here's the thing, the interceptions he throws are bad.
Okay.
It's not even a toss-up. It's you just threw it to the other team, man.
So it sounds like you have no confidence in Josh Allen and the Bills this weekend.
I just don't know what Josh we're going to get when the weather looks like that.
They've won 5 straight games.
But Cook is also can run the ball, right?
Doesn't the fact...
proven.
And
he's proved that.
Sure. He proved it against the Cowboys. The last couple of games, his yardage on the ground has not been great.
And doesn't the fact that they've won 5 straight make you more nervous? No. I think I would be nervous any team going into a playoff game winning 5 straight.
Okay, but if that's the case, the Steelers have won 3 straight.
Have they?
Yeah.
Okay.
They had to win out to get into the playoffs, and they needed help. Josh Allen was 30 of 38 for 359 yards and 2 touchdowns last week, and you got to be more accurate.
How many picks? 2?
2 interceptions.
And then a fumble.
Was the fumble his? Fumble wasn't his.
No, I thought the fumble was his on a handoff.
No. Last week, no. He had 2 turnovers.
All right. Okay.
I hate both of you right now.
No, I'm just trying to remember.
No,
Listen, you're the guru in this thing.
But I think, again, this is what we said all season long: let Josh be Josh, and that's kind of that comes with letting Josh be Josh. It works for them. It's hard to watch sometimes, but it seems to work for them.
Right, you get hero Josh and you get dumb Josh.
Look, you guys just have to sit back, relax, and take in the Josh Allen experience.
You're the one that turns into a zombie watching a damn game.
Yeah, that's what most Bills fans do. Everyone's like me, not like you. Smoking jacket on, snifter a brandy. Let's watch the Bills, baby. Put on my hi-fi. Let's turn on some Josh Allen.
This weather doesn't make you nervous at all.
I don't know who it benefits, to be completely sincere.
Okay.
Because you have a young, inexperienced team with some guys that are now filling roles they haven't all season.
The injury list also a little nerve-wracking.
Guys stepping up.
Yeah, the Bills are banged up.
Yeah.
But there's been guys stepping up.
Yeah, against Miami, that was good. I do wonder, Tomlin's a good coach. Is he going to be able to exploit the injuries better than Coach Skateboard was last week?
But when's the last time Tomlin had a really good team?
Well, that's the thing. He gets by with teams that have been okay lately.
Yeah, but that's just it. He gets by.
Right.
When's the last time he had been?
Right, yeah, when he had Roethlisberger. But in the defense of Mike Tomlin, that's not fair. You have one of the statistically greatest quarterbacks of all time.
I understand.
What happened?
Right.
What happened?
But don't you think it comes down to who has the better quarterback?
I think so. I think so.
And that's going to be the Bills.
Okay, but again,
this kid could get lucky for a quarter But is he going to be lucky for 4 quarters? No.
With the forecast, sometimes that's all it takes is one play to change a game. But who knows? Who knows?
But you also got that defense that could destroy you.
252 WCMF, 252-9263. We're talking about this Bills-Steelers game. The Bills are favored by 10 points, and it looks like these two teams are on the opposite end of the spectrum. But when you start to look closer, they both had to win out at 500 to make the playoffs. They both needed help from the Jags to guarantee a playoff spot on Sunday. The Steelers are only a game back of the Bills. Injuries have bit both of these teams in the ass. I mean, you have Josh Allen in Buffalo, which is huge, but the question becomes, does the weather hurt or help the Bills on Sunday? Because you can make an argument either way. Look, this has been a lot of doom and gloom for an exciting playoff game.
I was thrilled till you started flapping.
There is fantastic news.
Give me the fantastic.
If you go out and get this win on Sunday, you may have eliminated the sneakiest team left in the AFC in the playoffs. Because everyone else, you know exactly what they are. You know what they do well. You can game plan for them, and they won't sneak up on you, right? You've seen the Chiefs how many times? You've seen Miami twice this season. You played Baltimore a ton the last couple of years, and you know Cleveland has a great defense. Like every other team, you look at them, this is what they are. On top of that, the last couple of weeks, they've been playing up and down to their competition. You play a great game in Kansas City, you get the win, you blow out the 2 seed in the Cowboys. You get Miami at home, Miami on the road, you kick them all the way down to the 6 seed, but there were issues against the Chargers and the Patriots, 2 of the worst teams in the league. Ideally, you have gotten those kinks out. And now you turn on legitimate coaching, legitimate playing. The Bills know what's at stake.
Come on.
The Bills have been here. The Steelers haven't.
Okay.
I think that's the fear for a lot of Bills fans. Is that team from earlier in the season gone? Have they worked it all out, or is that still in them? We don't know.
Okay, but here's the thing. The knock on the Bills and Sean McDermott for the last however many years, they can't win close games. All they've done in the last 6 weeks is win close games.
All right. They close them out.
That 7-minute offense closes stuff out. The defense has stepped up and gotten stops in multiple games. That's what we wanted, right? You wanted to show that you can win those close games. You can't have it both ways where you go, oh, you got to win a close game. Why didn't you blow them out? Why didn't you go 38 for 38 instead of 30 of 38?
Well, that's why it's fun to be a fan. You can just say whatever you want.
You guys sound like idiots.
Yeah.
You sound like it. If you're not 100% completion percentage, you suck. It sucks. I am very interested to see what this Steelers defense looks like without their all-world defensive end.
Well, that's got to kill him, man. That guy's a headliner.
I don't know. Like, do they? Like the Steelers have also notoriously always had like someone behind them on the defensive line. Like, is T.J. Watt the one? Is it other guys that can also rush the passer that makes T.J. Watt so good?
Yeah, I don't know how deep that defense goes.
Because this Bills defensive line, you have guys that you think are headliners. And then Leonard Floyd came out of nowhere, and he leads the team in sacks, double-digit sacks. Greg Rousseau will go get you sacks. A.J. Epinesa will go get you sacks. Daquan Jones will get you sacks. Poona Ford got a sack the other night.
Look at that.
You even know who Poona Ford is?
Did not. I thought it was a dealership.
Kingsley Jonathan is out getting sacks.
Oh.
Von Miller, the only one not.
All right.
All right, so Bills, Steelers, 1 o'clock, Sunday, live right here on CMF. You can go hang out with Tommy at Bill Gray's in Shiloh.
Oh, we're going to party, buddy.
And when he's there, you can talk to him about his picks.
Yeah.
Because you said that you felt a certain way till we had this discussion. Is this changing how you're going to pick?
No. I'm locked in, buddy.
Just after 7:45, a Tommy Tells It Like It Is on a Football Friday Wild Card Edition here in the break room on CMF. It's Friday. You know what that means?
It's time to get creepy.
That's right. We got a creep cap coming at you. And, okay, I want to be clear. What this kid from our area is doing is remarkable.
Yeah.
Right? Like, this kid deserves all of the congratulations and all of the accolades and all of the holy craps. That being said, if this is something your kid was interested in, and at this age he was able to get this far with it, you'd have to encourage it.
Oh, sure.
You would have to say,
support. I'm
here with you.
Yeah.
You would also have to be terrified out of your mind.
Would I have to join him?
I think so.
Oh, okay.
We'll tell you what this remarkable 11-year-old boy from our area is doing and how, as a parent, you'd be able to handle a guaranteed success in adult as long as you both make it there. Next in the break room on CMF. every parent dreams of having a smart and motivated kid.
A brainiac kid.
Yeah, the kid knows what they want. It's one thing to be smart. It's another thing to have a goal.
Yeah.
Right? That kid knows what they want, and even in their young age, they are working to accomplish that dream. And that dream may pay very well and put this one specific kid that we're going to talk about on a path to massive success.
And the kid's on the fast track.
Bro, and he's barely in middle school. What he is doing is amazing. Also, most of the parents listening to this show, as proud as they would be, would also be crapping their pants at the same time.
Why?
Well, if you encourage this, you also have to be up in the air to encourage him.
What do you mean in the air?
You're hanging out in the break room, Rochester's Classic Rock 96.5 WCMF. We'll get to that in just a second, but it's Friday.
Yeah, buddy.
You are gross.
Thank you.
No, just in general. But he also says disgusting things. All the gross things Tommy said all week long. Call it the Creep Cap, and it happens now on CMF.
Yeah. Oh, man. All right. God. All right. How hard? Okay. All right. I love it.
You'll get to ride dinosaurs.
Well,
if you want to.
I did that with your mom.
You get to see real dinosaur fossils and dig for pretend ones, which is what I did with your mom.
I'm a cob guy.
Oh, yeah?
I love it on the cob.
Wait, you're kidding me.
I love running my mouth down the cob, eating the corn, pulling the corn off with my mouth.
Why didn't you tell me
on the
this?
shaft of the corn
Why
cob.
did you not tell me this?
I'm big. What do you got?
I just started this new business.
What do you got?
Well, it's a cob business.
Where's it at?
It's down in the men's room.
Wow.
Yeah.
What's it called?
It's called Uncle Pat's Close Your Eyes. I'm going to give you a cob surprise right in your mouth. Sauce. Like 10 yards wide, 10 by 10 yards wide.
Wait, your mom's going to be there?
And the ground gave way.
So you got a whole road full of butt pudding.
You
know it's pudding. No, I think it's around pre-pubes.
Your pube.
I am only using I use my pubes as a timeline for a lot of things.
Like, I'm going to be eating 2 bags of nuts out of the vending machine today, no doubt about it.
Wait, you need some nuts?
I do.
Why didn't you tell me?
Why?
I got this new kiosk in the men's room.
Really?
Yes.
What's it called?
It's called Uncle Tommy's Old Fashioned Energy Nuts. Sauce.
Oh, there's sauce with it.
Oh, there's some sauce coming. And it's unique, huh?
Bro, it's the most unique thing you will ever taste.
Oh. Well, your mom's doing a buffet?
Where do pubes come from?
It comes from the pubic area. Think they grow those in a lab too? Oh, my mouth's open. I want you.
Yeah, you don't say it like that.
Put something in my mouth, ma'am. I love you. Fill my mouth with your love. It's so good to be a creep.
There it is, the Creep Cap on CMF. So, story on News 8 last night introduces us from a little guy from our area named Alec.
What's Alec doing?
Alec is 11 years old, and ever since he was a little bitty boy, he's loved planes.
He's a sky boy.
Like, loved planes, yes.
Yeah.
And his parents, they started stoking that interest. Now, they made sure he got to ask all the questions he wanted of, like, the crew when they would fly to see his grandma every year.
Okay.
They got him a flight simulator video game so he could, like, learn how to fly as a kid. But Alec, he wanted more.
What did he do?
Well, his parents started researching stuff, and they found out there's a minimum age you have to be to get your pilot's license, and that is 17 years old.
All right.
But it turns out there is no age minimum to take flying lessons. So Alec, plain and lover of flying, at 11 years old, has been up in the air taking flying lessons.
So he's been with a co-pilot, a trainer.
Yes.
But he's been wheels up.
He's flying. The kid loves it. And it's not just a hobby. It's something he wants to pursue as soon as he's legally allowed. This was Alec last night on News 8 in this story.
I wanted to fly in real life, so I just had the flight simulator at the time. I like to use lots of planes and take off from our airport, for I know what it's like. I'm planning on possibly working for an airline and getting to fly to bigger planes, possibly flying like from New York City to Europe, for example.
Is a real quick sidebar.
Yeah.
Is there anything cuter than a kid that has an owl problem?
No.
Yes.
It's
adorable.
It just melts me.
I don't want to hear it in my pilot.
Okay, so let's talk about this. This kid, this might be one of those dream scenarios as a parent. Because your kid at 11 years old
found his passion.
Knows exactly what he wants to do, Kimmy.
Not many kids could say that.
And he's bright enough to know what he's doing.
Yes.
And stay interested, too. Because like it's one thing for your kid to love something, and then like the next day they decide, Dad, I've outgrown that. I don't like that anymore. I'm on to something new.
Yes.
Like this kid really seems like this is something that he loves and wants to pursue.
You have an 11-year-old kid dedicating himself to accomplishing a lifelong goal. This would be amazing for any parent.
Yeah.
If it weren't for one small detail.
What is that?
You getting in a plane, your 11-year-old kid is flying?
Even with an instructor? No.
No, I want to be clear. This is not an indictment on Alec.
No.
Alec is awesome. But
he's a child.
Yeah, if you know any 11-year-olds, have known any 11-year-olds, they're not supposed to know how to fly a plane. Is that a fair statement?
And the plane isn't built for an 11-year-old.
So it's funny you say that. Well, they talked to the instructor that he takes lessons with, and his first question was, could he see over the dashboard where they asked if he could do it?
But think about it. That plane is designed for a grown adult person to handle.
Sure.
You're a little kid. Like, can you even reach all the crap? And it's all great but if something goes wrong... listen, this is what we're talking about.
No, I'm talking about...
My ass ain't getting that plane with no 11-year-old child near anything.
So the phone number is 252-WCMF, 252-9263. And I get that these lessons have a professional up there, right? And mom and dad may be up there too. But there is going to be a point where your 11-year-old kid, and just think of any 11-year-old kid, takes over the controls.
He's going to be holding the stick.
Okay, yeah. My 11-year-old daughter is very bright. There is not enough money in the world you could pay me to sit in a plane my 11-year-old daughter was piloting. I don't care how much experience she has. I don't care who is telling me that my kid is a natural. That is a massive no.
Yeah. And I know, you can't get in a plane with that kid.
Fair?
There's no way.
So does that make his parents amazing? The fact if they're getting in the plane with him.
I'm not putting my safety in an 11-year-old's hands on an aircraft.
No, all right. The argument that's going to be made is there's someone there in case something goes wrong.
I understand that, but still.
Okay. Kimmy?
Yeah.
Are you getting in this plane with an 11-year-old
I mean,
kid?
listen, if you're the parent that's supporting this, like this is the ultimate sign of support, getting in the plane and trusting this thing that your kid's been pursuing. I think you have to. So it's like showing up to your kids' activities.
Oh,
like
no. It's not. There's a difference between me There's a difference between me skipping the Bills game on Sunday to go to a hockey tournament and being 10,000, 20,000 feet in the air with my kid.
But this is what they're into. This is their hobby. This is what they like to do. If you really want to see them pursue it or do what they love to do, then you have to be a part of it as well.
Watching this story last night on News 8, I had the most conflicting at the same time feelings. Because you cannot look at this kid and hear this story and not think he's amazing.
Right.
This kid is amazing. And you look at these parents and you go, wow, good for you guys. Good for you stoking his passion and making this work for him. And at the same time, I'm not a good flyer to begin with.
Right.
I'm watching them talk, and I just had this pit in my stomach of like, if my daughter wanted to do this and my wife was like, we should give it a shot, you'd have to get in that plane.
Bro, when's the last time you were in a little plane?
I don't get in little planes.
Okay, so I did one a few years back with a buddy of ours.
Okay. Oh, yeah, he's got a pilot's license. By the way, that's a grown man. I ain't getting in his plane either.
You're not going to get into a plane with bad joke Vinny.
No chance, because he also might be bad pilot Vinny.
But you feel every bump.
Ah!
And, you take off from the regular airport with the we took off right out of the airport here, not like a smaller airport.
Okay.
So you're on those big takeoff and landing strips in that little ass plane, and you are just rocking all the way up into the clouds. And you just feel it. It's like being in a bad car. Like you just feel every bump.
How do you do that? Why did you get in that plane?
Tommy likes the idea of being in the plane until he's in the plane.
Well, the guy that was flying the plane was not Vinny. It was his buddy who was a professional pilot.
Okay. If he's friends with our friends, I still don't trust his ass. Fair statement?
But he's a professional. He's a paid pilot.
Yeah, bro, we know a lot of...
He makes the money, baby.
Oh, please let the court know Tommy has made the money sign.
And we gave him a bottle of Jack Daniels as thank you. Brilliant move.
To the pilot.
We wasn't chugging out of the bottle during the plane.
What if he started? What if he did it?
What am I going to do?
Exactly, that's my point.
At least he's not 11.
252-WCMF, 252-9263. We're talking about this kid, remarkable kid. News 8 last night does a story. Kid named Alec. He's from our area. He's 11 years old, and he is taking flying lessons. He's flying. The kid is flying, and he wants to be a professional pilot, and you hear the kid talk, and he's got this passion, and his parents are supporting him 100%, and all of that is awesome, but there is no way as a father I am getting in a plane with my 11-year-old kid. We are very fortunate.
Yeah.
Joining us here in the break room right now, the mother of this amazing young man.
Oh.
Jody's on CMF. Jody, let me start by saying you have one of the most remarkable sons I've ever seen in my life.
Well, I greatly appreciate that. He's pretty amazing.
Okay. Can you? I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. Go ahead.
No, that's why I was just saying he's amazing. I'm agreeing with you.
Okay.
Great.
So I need you to walk me through this thought process, if you don't mind.
No, not at all.
Okay, so Jody, your son, I saw the story last night, like he shows his interest in planes. You guys stoke it with Southwest. How about there's this great part where they write a letter to Southwest, and Southwest sends back all of this stuff for him, gives him like these autographed pictures, right? And then they start building planes with construction paper, and he gets the flight simulator.
So they gave him like little planes to play with?
Yeah, well, his mom made him for him, Jody here. So
I
Jody,
heard half of them were late.
Jody, when the opportunity to put him in the air came up, was there any hesitation from you or his dad?
Absolutely, 100%.
Okay.
Like if I was the instructor and I figured I got an 11-year-old today.
Well, he said he's taught younger kids. Like 11, he said was the youngest, but like there's not an age limit to try this, is there?
Not really. And it's pretty safe.
Okay, no, I get it.
They're not.
I mean, you got an instructor and everything.
Planes, you go flying all the time. It's not. It's think of it as in it's driver's ed, but it's a plane.
Okay. Now, Jody, I get it, and your son seems super bright.
Right.
I also had some friends I was in a car with while they were taking driver's ed, and that's a top 3 scariest moment of my life.
Very true.
Good. That's good.
So, Jody, every time no, you don't, because thank God you never had kids. There are these moments, Jody, where you're trying to make a decision, like what you're going to do with your kid, and you have these closed doors conversations, with your spouse, your father, whatever, right? How long did it take you two to have this discussion before you were finally like, all right, let's give him a shot and put him up in the air?
It actually was a very quick thing, super quick.
Okay.
It came up as in it was Alex's birthday, and all he does is talk about flying. So what are we going to do? And it was mentioned how let's check into flying lessons. Okay, let's check it out. And we checked it out. We signed him up, and that was it.
How much is a flying lesson for like one lesson?
You're a classy guy.
How much?
What does your house cost before taxes?
I want to know what they're going to sink in.
Well, here in Rochester, it was a little over $200 for
that's per lesson.
Flight.
That's not bad at all. I thought I was going to hear like
I don't know how many
$1,000.
lessons. I mean, you're taking one a week. You're taking.
No, not $1,000. That's insane.
I'm dumb, Jody.
Here's
I'm
the
not
thing.
a smart man.
Okay.
Then there would be no flying lessons.
Yeah, but here's the thing, Jody. Your kid's gonna, when he turns a teenager, you're gonna have to buy him a plane.
No.
Yes. What's he
Why
gonna
would you
do?
have to buy him a plane?
What's he gonna fly? He wants to fly. Once he gets his pilot's license, he's gonna want a plane.
Well, no, there's other things. There's other avenues that we can look into as he gets older. There's
Rent one?
Build it. Build your own plane.
We could build his own plane.
I was kidding. Dear God, Jody, don't do that.
Well, we did find out a lot of people do that.
I know. Okay, so Jody, let me ask you this question. And I really appreciate you answering all our questions because I could not get enough of this story last night. All right, Jody, have you been up in the air with your son?
I took the very first flight with him, yes.
Okay. We're an honest show here, Jody.
What do you think?
I'll be honest with you. Did it scare the crap out of me? Absolutely. I hate small planes.
When he took the stick for the first time, was it more pride or was it more fear?
I don't think I've ever seen a child so confident in doing something that I don't like small planes. It wasn't Alec. I was actually totally fine being in the plane with my son.
Wow.
Fine.
You have way more faith in your kids than I have in my kids.
being in a small, tiny plane. I don't like them.
I wouldn't want my mother in the back seat of the car just going to Wegmans. Oh, yeah, the noise that would come from the back seat.
Well, Jody, your son,
yeah.
Phenomenal kid. Thank you for answering all our questions, and I'm sure I'm sure we're gonna hear about your kid more as he gets older here. So congratulations, This is awesome.
Thank you, I appreciate it.
Have a good rest of the day. Tell Alec we said what up.
Will do, definitely. Have a great day, guys.
You too. Let me ask you a question.
Go ahead.
What a sweet woman.
Mm-hmm.
Let's say you can have a free flight to anywhere you want in the United States.
All right.
Tough to come by.
Yep, totally free.
Oh, yeah.
He flies the whole way.
Wait, he flies the whole way.
11-year-old Alec flies the whole way. He's going to try and do his first
solo.
There will be someone in the back, but they can't take over. They're just in the back observing him.
I'm not doing that,
Free flight,
man. That could
Free
go
flight.
so bad.
California, Hollywood. Dip, 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 dip.
No.
It's a long time in the air.
Kimmy, would you go for free?
No. I'm a bad flyer in general. Like, I'm not getting in any small planes.
Yeah, I know.
No matter who's piloting.
That could go horribly wrong.
252 WCMF. We're talking about, we just talked to his mom, Jody. She called us up. Alec, he's 11 years old. Story about him on News 8 last night. He is taking flying lessons at 11. He's up in the air flying.
Right.
At 11 years old, he wants to be a professional pilot. Can you give me that audio one more time? This is what Alec says he wants to do when he gets older.
I wanted to fly in real life, so I just had to fly somewhere at the time. I like to use lots of planes and take off from our airport, for I know what it's like.
I'm
planning on possibly working for an airline and getting to fly to bigger planes, possibly flying like from New York City to Europe, for example.
Can you imagine you're 18, 19 years old, and you have your pilot's license, and you want to go pick up girls?
Is that a benefit or no?
Are you kidding me? I could fly you anywhere in a moment. Like I can go rent a plane and we can go.
Dean Martin? I'll fly you to the moon.
Or the Canandaigua, baby. But think about that. That's impressive. You meet a chick. You're already 10 points up when you walk into a bar if you're a flyboy.
But you're not pulling up in your plane.
No, but I could take you anywhere.
It would be one of those things that I'd have a tough time believing.
Okay, so here's the thing.
That's why I got to show you.
So it turns out, we talk about 11, but there's an instructor there. The FAA, I saw last night that the FAA will give you your pilot's license at 17 years old.
That's what I'm saying. So,
and you can fly solo at 16, but we have a guy sitting on hold here who says it might even be younger than that.
I think he said 17.
Okay, I'm sorry. Garrett is on CMF. So Garrett, you have a similar situation as Jody, who we just talked to here.
Yes, my daughter joined the Civil Air Patrol at 12 years old.
Okay.
At 16, she won a scholarship through Civil Air Patrol to go out to Scotia, New York, to take flying lessons and get her pilot's license.
Damn, Garrett!
In 1 week's time, she went through the schooling and flight and had her pilot's license at 17.
So, Garrett, did she get her intelligence from you or her mom?
It's her mom all the way.
All right, Garrett, when is the first time you went up solo with your daughter? How old was she?
She was 17.
Okay, I'll ask you the same question I just asked Jody. Was it more pride or was it more fear the first time you were up there?
It was pure pride.
Wow. You weren't scared at all?
No. I like little planes.
Doesn't bug him.
And I cannot lie. So, the Civil Air Patrol, that's like, what is that? Like, what do they do? They're watching the enemy?
That is military style.
Yeah,
all right.
Yeah.
Pretty impressive. That's a young girl doing that.
No kidding. Well, Garrett.
Interest from age 12.
Amazing. All right, how old's your daughter now, Garrett?
My daughter is 26. She is still in the Air Force.
Good for her,
she's in the Air Force.
Good for her. That's great. All right, well, Garrett, thanks for the call, buddy. Have a good rest of the day. Take care. No chance. No chance I am doing that.
Can I just say this, and you're not going to want to hear it?
Oh, please.
This area doesn't have a lot of luck with planes.
Why would you say that out loud?
But it's just,
Why would you say that out loud?
Well, we're talking about getting in planes.
We start on the dangerous thing. We talk to these two parents, the pride that they have, the experience they have. You start to come around to it. Hey, this is great, by the way.
I mean, even rich guys.
boy. Well, no, I think rich guy's probably the worst pilot than like not rich guy.
Well, rich guys can do anything. Just ask them.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
I can fly this plane. I built this plane. I fly this plane. Pretty much.
Just think about this before we move on. Because I'm getting a lot of hate right now saying that, well, these kids, like Facebook, I'll read you this Facebook message. This comes in from Jake. Jake writes us, don't tell kids they can't do something. The problem with parents today is kids don't believe. If kids believe, they can accomplish anything at any age.
Are you kidding me? There's more encouragement now than our parents. Jesus. The negativity that fell out of my parents' face because they didn't want to pay or they didn't want to do.
I'll say this.
What?
For Mr. I'm cool with getting in a plane with my 15, 14, 16-year-old kid. How did you feel the first time you were in the car when your kid was driving for the first time?
You're freaking out.
And that's not 10, 20, 30,000 feet up. All right, we're super late. We got to take a break. Okay. We got Tommy making his picks in about 20 minutes. Sit tight on that. But before we get there, you remember last week we were talking about someone we work with was eating a food that we thought adults didn't eat anymore?
Yeah.
Turns out, based on this crime story in front of us, we were wrong.
Really?
In fact, it's so coveted by a man of a certain age, he was willing to go to jail for it.
Damn.
We'll tell you what it is and what happened next to the break room on CMF. A question we asked last week might be getting answered in a crime story we have this week.
Okay.
Because this man could have taken anything from this story, but he chose this. Something we decided last week adults should not be eating.
Oh.
You're hanging out in the break room, Rochester's Classic Rock, 96.5. WCMF just after 7:45 this morning. It is a football Friday.
Yeah, buddy.
Biggest one of the season.
This is it.
Bills Steelers, 1 o'clock, Sunday live here on CMF. And Tommy will tell you everything you need to know about it. A Tommy Tells It Like It Is Wild Card Weekend Edition. Just after 7:45 here in the break room on CMF. This story comes to us from Wayne County.
What happened?
The sheriff's department out that way were called to an IGA grocery store.
Oh, yeah, a little independent grocery.
You got it. After an employee noticed a specific product missing from their shelf.
Where they snatched.
Well, they went and checked security cameras, and they found something. Authorities say a 60-year-old man.
It's a little long in the lifting game.
Well, it's what he lifted, according to police. That 60-year-old man, according to police, was caught stealing a ton of Slim Jims.
Okay.
36 of them, to be exact.
Right.
I believe that's a quart of Slim Jim.
He say he did it just before 3 in the afternoon. He was arrested, charged with petty larceny. He's actually being held at the Wayne County Jail due to prior convictions. So this theft of 36 Slim Jims by a 60-year-old man, according to police, which could not be worth more than $50,
Oh, God.
literally has him behind bars.
So I wonder if he stole a box of them or if they were all individual. Like he was just
Like
grabbing as
grabbed
many
all,
individuals as he could get.
It's got to be the box, right?
On
don't
a
know.
shelf? Yeah, I guess.
Right? Well, I mean, it would be easier to
Like the
carry
display
Yeah.
thing, you know?
Yeah. Just walk
Okay.
out with that. So last week, we had a discussion in the break room because I saw one of our coworkers, a guy in his mid-50s,
Yeah.
eating a Slim Jim as a mid-morning snack. And it threw me because not only had I not seen a man eat a Slim Jim in years,
Right.
we all kind of assumed older guys didn't eat Slim Jims.
Yeah, they're not the healthiest of snacks
No,
for an
no, no,
older
no.
person.
And from that point, we had a discussion about what would be weird to see a grown man eating. But in this story, not only do we have a grown man eating Slim Jims at 60, according to police, he was willing to get locked up for it.
Which means he was desperate for some Slim Jim.
So let's talk through that, because you're only stealing Slim Jims, Tommy, to eat the Slim Jims, right?
Right. That's it. Yeah, you're right. You're not flipping your Slim Jims on the open market.
Is there a black market Slim Jim
No,
area?
I hope not.
Right?
Or for greasy, salty meat.
And what makes this story even more remarkable?
What's that?
According to the allegations, he was in the middle of a grocery store.
No.
If he were hungry, he literally could have stolen anything.
Right,
Think
true.
about all the food inside that grocery store. But he chose, at 60 years old, to steal 36 Slim Jims. Not deli meat.
No.
Not cans of chili. 36 Slim Jims. Maybe, just maybe,
Yeah.
based on our conversation last week and this story we have in front of us, old guys are snapping into Slim Jims more than we previously thought.
I always thought it was an older guy snack.
Really?
I mean,
Yeah.
was it
just
snack?
based on like the guys I see like grabbing them at 7-Eleven? It's like guys like that they're taking a break in their day, grabbing them and getting back into the truck.
But like for somebody like the guy's 60, so he's my age.
Yeah.
That's got to be one of the worst things for an older person to eat
Why do you say that?
because they're just so bad for you. And at our age, you know, health issues start creeping up.
Okay.
So like if there's probably nobody in their 80s that's been eating Slim Jims their whole life.
I don't know. You
Is it-
see those people that live to like 104 and everyone's
Every
Slim Jim
day
and a
was-
Coke every day.
yeah.
Bourbon and Slim Jim.
I do wonder, is it one of those snacks though that guys think is healthy?
Oh, like
You
it's
know?
beef jerky.
Yeah. Oh, it's protein.
Yeah.
It's protein.
So that's their healthy snack for the day is a
I mean, they're
Slim Jim.
delicious.
I haven't had one since I was a kid.
I loved them when I was a kid.
I'm afraid to eat one.
I knew a kid when I worked in the grocery business. He used to make Slim Jims. I think I told you this before. Sandwiches,
Well, how do you make a Slim Jim sandwich?
white bread, mustard, Slim Jims. He'd open them
Okay.
up and he'd cut them up
All right.
and he'd put them in a sandwich and eat them at lunch.
Why not just get meat?
Yeah.
I understand that, but he loved the taste of Slim Jim.
Oh.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Let me ask you guys a question. With this story that a 60-year-old man was arrested for stealing 36 Slim Jims from a grocery store in Wayne County, what would be the first thing you'd grab for free from a grocery store if you had free reign? The one caveat being it can't be under glass, like no lobsters or steak or anything like that. But
Probably beer.
So okay, food.
But just a food.
Yeah.
Just a straight up food to steal to eat.
You're gonna grab it for free. What are you taking?
Not prepared food.
No.
like on a dry shelf.
Whatever it is. Fennel. You can go vegetables, too, if you want, you bitch-ass
I'm
bitch.
not grabbing a vegetable.
Well, look at this pineapple. It's another color. It costs a lot of money.
Oh, there are expensive stuff, though.
You're the only bitch in Rochester that would grab a fruit or a vegetable as the first thing.
Pink pineapple.
Well, check out this avocado. Look at the size of this avocado, guys.
Well, you're only asking me because you know I don't have a good answer.
Well, no, because you could have said immediately, like, Hormel chili, but you didn't.
I'm not grabbing a can of gas.
Hormel chili's delicious.
But man, I eat that stuff. I rip ass all night.
All right, let me talk to a normal
Fresh
human.
figs.
Fresh figs. No, you would. Shut up.
I love figs.
The first thing you're grabbing alone at a grocery store is fresh figs?
Yeah, they're almost $5 for a little container.
Could you be more Italian? What are you going to grab? A big bowl of pasta and some meatballs after that?
I love me some figs.
Well, a man playing an organ with a monkey on top of it is going la, 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 behind you? Jeez. Kimmy, what are you grabbing?
Maybe I'm hitting up the candy aisle.
Okay.
Like,
I forgot
maybe
about
grabbing
candy.
like a big box of like Snickers or something, like the full size candy bars, Kit Kats, something along those lines.
You guys are thinking too
All
small.
right, I want to revise my thing.
Oh, not figs.
Because I also love nuts.
Yeah, I heard that about you.
And those are expensive.
Macadamia nuts, most expensive nut there is, and I love them.
You're still a bitch.
No, but they're
Well,
delicious.
like the chocolate covered almonds, cashews. Ooh.
Yeah, I'm going nut. High end nut.
You guys think too small. The phone number is 252-WCMF.
But I'm thinking of something I could grab and go.
No, wait till you hear poor ass Gates boy what he's gonna grab.
No, you would have to grab something a little bit expensive.
Like what?
Those nuts are really expensive.
Who's going to go with nuts?
What do you got there, Gates boy?
How about like a package of like those higher end sausages that
I
are
knew
in, like,
he
the
was
meat?
gonna go busted.
Why? Why is that busted?
But higher end
Like
sausage.
those
problem,
fancy
though,
sausages.
The problem with that though is
It's got sage in it, man.
it doesn't last as long. Like you got to eat it right away.
You gotta cook it.
Yeah, so what?
Yeah.
What about some shrimp? What about a bag of shrimp? Bag of frozen shrimp?
Again.
What?
Yeah.
I want something that
Yes,
I don't...
it's very expensive, but it's not very quick to eat.
No, but I want to grab something that I don't normally eat
Well, then
every
grab
day.
a whole tenderloin and run out the door.
Well, no, because those are usually like the good ones are like away under glass. Right? We did make the under glass rule, but like those
But there's steaks out on the thing you could grab.
Yeah, but I mean...
How about a ribeye? Oh, ribeye.
Yeah.
It's like $30.
Okay, but it goes against what you're saying because like the steak is way more preparation than any of this
I
stuff.
know, but that's why I'm going something. I crack open a macadamia nuts and I just chug them down, baby.
You just chugging nuts, are
Oh,
you?
chugging nuts all day long.
So it does run in the family. 252-WCMF. We started this discussion with a 60-year-old man in Wayne County. He was arrested for stealing 36 Slim Jims. It comes off our conversation yesterday last week, about how grown men shouldn't eat Slim Jims.
Mm-hmm.
We were thrown when we saw a guy in our office doing it. Meanwhile, this guy is locked up because of previous
Slim Jims.
Yes, previous crimes that he allegedly committed. He's behind bars for the theft of 36 Slim Jims. If you were alone in a grocery store, what are you taking? Let's talk to Alex. Hey, Alex, what's going on, buddy?
Hello, how's it going this morning, guys?
Good, Alex, what you got?
Pretty good. All I'm saying is if I was going to a grocery store, I'm walking out with a nice roast.
Okay, roast is a good one.
A roast?
Roast is...
What are you taking it to your mother's house?
Well, no, but roast is going to probably get you the most amount of food.
Okay, but we're talking fun. Ain't no fun in a roast.
I love roast. You don't like roast?
I like
no
it,
fun
but it's
in
not
a roast.
But it's not like top.
There ain't no cheese in China, and there ain't no fun in a roast.
Have you ever invited people over for roast?
Isn't that normally when you have people
That's
over?
when
do a
you
roast?
have a roast.
No, it's like sitting at home, comfort food.
You're such a sissy
Yeah,
bitch.
who likes that?
Alex, I'm with you 100%. What are you doing with that roast when you get it home, buddy? What are you doing?
Oh, when I get that thing home, I'm putting that thing right in the crock pot and letting it slow cook.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, man.
Free roast, bitches.
Slow
cooking.
Put the vegetables in there.
Look, man, no roast tastes better than a free roast.
All right.
Alex, thanks for the call, buddy. Have a good rest of the day. Take care. All right, so you got macadamia nuts. Kimmy's stealing a Snickers bar.
All right.
Way to go.
You're
252.
grabbing high-end sausage.
Yes, you get.
I said a box. Like you get like the whole box of candy.
Wow,
Not just a single.
$12. Well, I got $12. Guys, you grab something you don't normally get on a regular basis. Like, let's talk to Chris. He's on CMF. Hey, Chris, what's up, buddy?
No, not much. Just got home from work. How you guys doing?
I mean, I didn't really care, with all due respect, but what are you taking from the grocery store, Chris?
I am taking as much beer as I can fit in the cart.
Okay, beer doesn't count. It's got to be a food. Beer is always one of the most common items stolen outside of laundry detergent.
It's liquid bread, is it not?
Okay, God, I hate this guy. I should have known this. Just got home from work, took my shoes off.
Yeah.
Is there a food? Give me a food.
Too.
Give me a food.
Probably steak then.
Okay, all right. Chris, here's what I need you to do. I need you to think harder, be more creative, and next time we have a discussion like this, try again.
All right, will do, buddy.
Attaboy. Enjoy the rest of your time off this weekend. Thanks, Chris. Have a good
Hey,
rest.
we didn't think about the most expensive thing probably in the store that not Kimmy, but a chick would grab. Makeup.
Well, we're talking about food, I guess.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying grabbing
food.
Something.
I mean, some of
Did
that.
you say maybe not Kimmy?
Yeah. But that makeup is like a fortune.
Well, the stuff at the grocery store isn't all that expensive.
Yeah, no, she's right.
Yeah.
It's like you think it's Sephora.
Yeah.
All right.
I mean,
Although, if
there
you
are some smaller things that sure, like maybe, I wouldn't say it. I would say it maxes out at like $20 maybe.
You know what's even more? Going back to the initial story we have here, the 60-year-old man out in Wayne County accused of stealing 36 Slim Jims and ends up getting locked up due to previous convictions, right? So according to the story, they didn't realize the Slim Jims were gone until they noticed like a hole on the shelf. And they went back and looked at the footage.
Camera, yeah.
He got out of the store.
Oh, wait, so they tracked him down?
That's what it sounds
like. Oh, they
like.
must know the guy.
Yeah, okay, well, yeah, it sounds like he had already been like kicked out of there.
Yeah.
But like, if you stole the 36 Slim Jims and walked across the threshold of your home, you had to think you were home free.
Oh, yeah.
That knock on the door from the police.
Like you're choking down the last Slim Jim or trying to flush him down the toilet like a drug rape.
But that had to be the most sobering moment of your life, because every day you're locked up, you'd have to realize I'm here because of Slim Jims. Like when you
That's the saddest. That's got to be the saddest prisoner in the jail.
I got locked up for Slim Jims is my favorite Ribs Arkansas song. 252 WCMF. Let's talk to Austin. Hey, Austin, what's going on, buddy?
Hey, what's going on? I would steal some frozen pizza because frozen pizza just sounds super delicious right now. I know this is upstate New York and pizza's kind of our thing, but a nice frozen pizza from Wegmans sounds really good right now.
But frozen pizza's like $5-7, man.
You underestimate how poor I am.
Okay, but if you are poor, go bigger than that, Austin. Yeah. Go bigger.
All right, I'll do a nice Wagyu steak from Whole Foods or wherever they sell Wagyu beef.
Is it out or is it under glass, Austin?
It's under glass.
Yeah, you ain't getting it.
Yeah, it's out. All right, Austin, you've been disqualified from the grocery store game, but thank you. Have a good rest of the day.
Frozen pizza.
Oh, I was going to say pizza, but I said Wagyu.
Yeah, I was trying to think, like, is there anything in the frozen section that would be worth it? But I can't think of...
What's the most expensive? Because frozen food's normally pretty cheap.
Yeah.
Like, the most expensive frozen food are, like, fruits and vegetables, right?
I don't know. We never buy frozen stuff.
Oh, Stouffer's lasagna, Stouffer's frozen lasagna.
But again, it's so cheap.
No, it's. I mean, that's got to be the most expensive frozen food.
But
Kimmy?
that can't be much.
Stouffer's. No, that could be a $25 lasagna. Kimmy,
yeah, because they make like the big
family
ones.
size.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like all right, like it's the size of a toboggan.
Bro, I love Stouffer's lasagna. Love Stouffer's lasagna. I could eat a whole one of those family-sized ones.
Yeah.
Right. I would do that when I get home from football practice. My mom would get pissed.
No kidding, man. People were poor.
A whole family-size Salisbury steak because it came with 8 of them, and I would put them on sandwiches like Big Macs.
It's amazing how your family was poor and fat. Like you were the most well-fed, busted-ass people.
That's normally how it is because you're only buying cheap, bad food.
But yeah, but now you're eating whole sheets of lasagna.
That's why we were poor.
The Stouffer's. They call it party size lasagna.
Yeah, it's a lasagna party.
That's almost like $20.
That's what I'm saying, man. I would take that Stouffer. And here's the thing: if somebody tried to stop you, you can use it as a weapon to get out of the store.
Imagine going to a party and it's frozen lasagna.
That sounds like the greatest party of all
time.
What
is wrong with you people?
What? You chose
I lived
figs.
off the Stouffer's stuff in college. That was like a delicacy.
But let's say you're coming to my house, right?
Yeah.
Have you all the whole gang over? All you guys over coming.
Listen, homemade's always better, but Stouffer's not
No.
bad.
My wife's got a Stouffer's lasagna. Y'all are pissed.
You're talking to
over the
two
moon.
people that will not judge.
We'll take one more call real quick. 252 WCMF talking about this guy who stole 36 Slim Jims, according to police, out of a store in Wayne County and is in jail. He's locked up because of it. Phil's got the last word. Phil, what are you snagging from the grocery store?
Every year at Thanksgiving, I see those frozen turkeys right next to the $60 fresh young turkeys, and I've always wondered if that fresh young turkey was worth it.
Okay, first
so
of
I
all,
would definitely steal one of those.
Okay, you do sound a little creepy when you say fresh young
I knew
turkey.
you were going to do that. I knew you were going to do that because that's the way you are. Get out of your head, you gross-ass man.
I'm just trying to help you, Phil. Like, don't say fresh-ass turkey.
Fresh young turkey.
I'm the guy that's got to slap the turkey, too, just so you know. So.
I think we all slap the turkey.
That's right.
Know what they call it now?
Phil, that's what they call it, buddy.
Slapping the old turkey.
He chooses the least expensive meat in the store.
Seasonal meat.
All right, we are super late. We got to take a break. It's time, baby.
Let's do this.
Bills Steelers 1 o'clock. Win or stay home, I guess.
I'm the perfect guy to do this.
Bro, you said you completely changed your mind after we had our discussion around 6:40.
No. You know, I'm a big weatherman. I know the weather.
There are worries the weather could affect the game, although that hasn't changed the line from Vegas.
I understand, but they ain't Vegas ain't weather people. It's fun in the sun. You're going to tell me about weather.
The Bills have a game. Tommy's going to tell you exactly what happens, and we do it next. A Tommy Tells It Like It Is Wild Card Weekend edition on a Football Friday in the break room on CMF. Bills, Steelers, win or be done. Wild card weekend Sunday right here on 96.5 WCMF. If you want to watch the game, go hang out with one super cool guy.
Bundle up and come on out.
It's warm inside.
No, but bundle up and come out. You got to go outside first before you can go inside, Pat.
This man trying to help you will be at Bill Gray's Tap Room in Chi-Li.
It's going to be a party.
Go have a couple of drinks, a couple of cheeseburgers and some fries with Tommy Dulé. 1 o'clock Sunday to watch this Buffalo-Pittsburgh game with your friends from CMF. Just to let everybody know, the hat is in the building. The hat
is out.
Is in the building. And to not ruin his hair, he has put it on his knee like a sissy.
Well, I can't put it on with my headphones.
I can't. It's hard.
Well, I got the hearing aids, the thing. It's too much.
All right. It's the most old man wave. It's the most important pick segment of the season.
That's why the hat is out.
Let's get down to it, because there are some football experts that'll tell you what you want to hear, but only one man.
Some football experts will tell you what you want to hear. Our football expert tells you what you need to know. It's Tommy Tells It Like It Is in the Break Room on WCMF.
Over under. What, are we starting a Def Leppard song? Over under 1.5 interceptions for this Bills defense on Sunday. The Bills have 8 interceptions in the last 6 games. They have 5 interceptions in their last 2 games. The defense has been flying around, causing chaos, taking advantage, and everyone is getting involved. Rasul Douglas, the corner that came over at the trade deadline, he's got a bunch. Safety Taylor Rapp got one Sunday night against the Dolphins. Defensive tackle Ed Oliver had an interception against the Patriots, and it's been nightmares for opposing QBs. However, there are 2 things that could slam that momentum stopped for the Bills this weekend.
What's that?
The Steelers are starting quarterback Mason Rudolph. He started the season as their 3rd-string inactive quarterback. He won the Steelers 3 straight games to get here, and in the 4 games he's played in, the last 4, he has not thrown an interception.
Okay.
Let me say that again. He has not thrown a pick in 4 games. Like, that's great for an MVP candidate, let alone a guy that started inactive. Add to that, the Bills are banged up. Yesterday, Rasul Douglas did not practice after leaving injured.
But they're not saying he's not playing.
Nobody's been officially ruled out.
Yeah, but if he doesn't practice today,
it's going to be hard to keep these guys off that field.
Bills safety Taylor Rapp with a calf also has not practiced yet this week.
What's
That's
his
a problem. He's got a calf.
He hurt his calf.
Yeah, you mean a guy
rubbed that.
You run, man. That's pretty
You
valuable.
rubbed the calf. Jesus Christ, come on.
All right, look,
this is some jive-ass injuries.
That could hurt their pick chance. I'm just letting you know. So you're not like, oh, you didn't tell me.
No, let me ask you this real quick.
Sure.
Wise ass.
The hell did I do?
You're wise ass, and that's what you do. Is he not throwing any picks because they don't take any chances with the kid?
No, he's thrown for over 250 yards, I think, in 2 of his 3 games. I think. Over under 1.5 interception for this Bills defense.
What do you think? You think that defense is going to let that kid rest?
He hasn't thrown.
You don't think Mr. Ed and the gang are going to get after his ass?
You picked the defensive tackle.
Oh, it's going to be all of time. Put my hand on the hat. Pat is telling me, Pat.
Wouldn't the hat be on your head instead of your
I can't put it on because of my hearing aids and the other stuff.
Okay.
Well, you get to be my age, you'll figure it out, sister. I'm going to take. What was it, 1.5?
1.5.
Oh, I'm taking. Yeah, I'm taking.
You're taking the over.
Oh, yeah.
He has yet to throw a pick. You could be down.
You're going to get the job done, buddy.
So to be clear,
they're coming.
You are over 1.5 interceptions for this Bills defense on Sunday.
Yeah.
All right. Over under 40 yards rushing for Bills quarterback Josh Allen. So the Bills started the season with a strict no-running Josh policy. They wanted him healthy for the long haul. They didn't want to shorten his career, and in theory, that makes sense. But when the Bills ended up backed against a wall, things changed.
Yeah.
Josh had 81 yards rushing against Philly. He had 44 against the Patriots 2 weeks ago. He had 67 yards rushing and was the game's leading rusher in Miami Sunday night.
Right.
The Steelers' rush defense is in the bottom third of the league. That could mean Josh taking off is a great idea.
Oh, yeah.
That could also mean they try to use James Cook and Leonard Fournette to save Josh's body.
Yeah.
And keep in mind here, we know what the forecast is for Sunday.
Yeah, it's snow and wind and horrible.
30 miles an hour wind, 65 mile an hour gusts, and snow all over the place. So you may have to keep the ball on the ground. And in the last 2 games, Josh is over the 40-yard rushing mark. Tommy, over under 40 yards rushing for Bills quarterback Josh Allen.
Yeah. You don't think he's going to run with that ball a couple of times for some big plays?
If the Bills manage to jump out early, you don't want to risk that.
He wouldn't.
No, but Josh will risk it if he sees it. If Josh sees a wide open and everybody's covered, he's gone.
I think we only see Josh putting himself in those positions when he's playing hero Josh.
But don't they also have
if he's in a position where he doesn't have to play hero Josh, you're not going to see it.
But don't they have something by design too? Sometimes they want him to run.
Again, like Kimmy said, those usually only come out when the game is on the line. Like I get it, you don't want to put your $250 million quarterback at risk. Not to mention, you have to win 4 games here. You need 4 games for the ultimate prize. So any hit he takes could affect that.
Nobody's hurt that kid.
Oh, my God, what is wrong with you? I'm knocking on wood. Knocking on wood. You're touching a hat.
Yes. The hat is actual thing.
The hat is actual thing.
Yes.
What, did you take English as a second language class? What's the hat telling you?
The hat is telling me Josh is going to get over 40 yards rushing.
So to be clear, you are
Tell
over 40 yards rushing for Josh Allen.
What if your mother was back there?
On Sunday afternoon. 252-WCMF, 252-9263. Tommy tells it like it is. He is over 1.5 interceptions for this Bills defense on Sunday. He is over 40 yards rushing. For Bills quarterback Josh Allen. Are you ready for your third pick?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Over under.
There we go.
2.5 touchdowns for this Bills offense on Sunday. Because it's been a weird couple of weeks for the Bills offense. They hung 31 on Dallas at home. They escaped scoring 27 on New England. And with that 27 against the Patriots, one of those was a touchdown pick 6. Of the 21 points scored against Miami, one of those touchdowns came on a punt return. So the offense only had 2 touchdowns. And it's insane when you think about how good the offense has looked most of the time. So the last time, if I'm not mistaken, Kimmy, was the last time they scored 3 touchdowns against Dallas? They might have gotten 3 against Los Angeles.
But Philly. They
that
scored
was
a lot.
like 6 weeks ago.
Was that 6 weeks ago?
Yeah, because they've won 5
Dallas
straight.
was most recent.
Yeah. They might have scored 3 in Los Angeles. The point that I'm making is...
Yeah, what's the point?
Despite the points they're putting up, it's not the offense doing all the work. Does the Bills' offense turn that around on Sunday? Or do you have another week where either you win tight with low scoring or the defense or special team steps up over under 2.5 touchdowns for the Bills' offense on Sunday?
It's just any way they get in.
The offense doesn't count kick returns, punt returns, or pick sixes.
Offense.
Or fumble returns.
But they can get it any way they have to.
Yes.
Run it in.
Well,
throw
offensively.
Offensively.
Yes.
In the end zone.
Oh, my God.
Well, I got to say it like that to make sure you're not trying to...
I see that stupid look on your face.
Screw me.
Again, keep in mind the snow and wind factor here. That could also cut down on points.
I get it.
I'm just letting you know.
And Josh could just fall into the end zone, for God's sakes.
Yeah, but you'd have to be close to the end zone to fall into the end zone.
He's 6'5". I ain't got to get that.
What's he, from the 40s? He's going to fall forward? Over, under.
What do you think?
2.5 touchdowns for the Bills offense on
Are you
Sunday.
talking to the hat?
I'm talking to the hats. He's talking to me. Right? Yeah, I'm going to take the over. They can get 3 touchdowns. 3 lousy touchdowns against Pittsburgh.
Offensively, they didn't do it last week. They did not do it against New England.
They're going to do it. This is going to be cake. They give these things away.
Okay. So why haven't they been taking them?
I don't know. You got to talk to them.
The Bills opened up as 10-point favorites on Sunday.
Oh, boy.
The Bills, despite the weather forecast and the injuries that they have on that team, are still 10-point favorites this morning. The Steelers are the 7 seed, the last team in. The NFL has had 4 years of playoffs with the expanded 7 seed, and in those 4 years, the 7 seed is 0-4, which, Kimmy, I got to be honest, is making me a little bit nervous.
Why?
It's got to happen eventually.
Yeah.
Don't forget, last year, the Bills were full 2-touchdown favorites against Miami and their third-string quarterback at home, and the Dolphins had the ball in the final moments of the game, driving, trying to take the lead. So, with all that in mind.
That's a lot to take in, but
weather, history,
panorama
streaks,
of information.
Do the Bills win? And if so, do they do it by 11?
Well, I think the Bills are going to win.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
And what's your second question?
Oh, well, they would have to win by 11 to cover the spread.
So that's an automatic. If I take they're going to cover, which makes it an automatic bleed. Don't you have to really say that's an automatic blowout.
That's true, yes.
It's a straight-up playoff Sean McDermott bleed.
So you think they're just going to win by 11?
Oh, I think it's going to be a hell of a game, buddy.
Okay, bro, again, there could be a foot of snow on the ground.
I don't think that matters.
There could be gusts of 65 miles an hour.
But they all know this. They're all preparing for it. They're working a game plan right now. They're ready, baby.
So to be clear, you have the Bills win and covering the 10, which would therefore make it a...
It's an official blowout.
Bleh.
But what do you ask me?
I don't know. Give me how many points they win by if you think they're going to win by so big.
I think they win by 2 touchdowns. I think they have a 2-touchdown margin.
Okay.
Over.
All right, so again, let's recap Tommy's picks real
let's
quick
see what you got there,
for
buddy.
this game.
I kind of forgot.
On Sunday, Tom, I know you forgot. He's over 1.5 interceptions for the Bills defense Sunday. He is over 40 yards rushing for the Bills quarterback Josh Allen. He is over 2.5 touchdowns for the Bills offense on Sunday, and he has the Bills winning by 2 touchdowns.
2 touchdowns, Pat.
To recap those picks, we'll have our good buddy Mike Danger from 95.7 The Fan.
Yeah. And who else?
And from the Let's Go Duffalo podcast, Ryan Duffy.
Ryan Duffy, RD's in the house.
Just after 9 o'clock here in the break room on CMF.
Fantastic. That's so fast, buddy. It's going to be a party. I'm telling you, man, this is going to be
an Orchard Park party.
It's going to be an Orchard Park party. They're going to make us. This is going to be a statement game. As you do not want to come to Buffalo and play any of these playoffs. Ooh. People are going to be scared of Buffalo.
Okay. So what's your bonus pick? Did you run out of steam?
Thinking about it.
Because I was thinking about that snow, and I was thinking about a celebration. Right?
Yeah.
How do you celebrate in the snow?
You tell me, Tommy.
How would you celebrate in the snow
I don't
at
know.
the end of a
in
game?
The end zone.
What would you do?
You make a snow angel.
Yeah, who would make that snow angel?
Who, Tommy?
Sean McDermott.
No, you picked
Any
the
end zone.
I was going to say like Deion Dawkins.
No, that's a big ass snow angel. It's too big.
But he'd be the one to do it.
It'd be a snow god.
Sean McDermott.
Okay.
That is.
Sean McDermott
is going to join in, and they're going to be making some snow angels. They're going to be having so much fun at the end. The end of that game is they're going to be. It's going to be over in the fourth quarter.
Sean McDermott.
I say this: the game's over in the fourth quarter.
By the way, of course, every game is over in the fourth quarter. Watch it now go into overtime, you idiot. Way to go.
I know. I'm saying like by the beginning of the fourth quarter, it's going to be over.
Okay, so to be clear, the Bills win so big that Sean McDermott is doing snow angels in the end zone in Orchard Park. Yeah. Okay. Danger, Ryan Duffy, just after 9 o'clock here to recap those picks on a Football Friday in the break room on CMF. Someone in this room has noticed something about men.
Well, I guess it would be who?
Well, actually, it's all we got a 50-50 shot on this one. Because, Tommy, for years and years and years, men supposedly did not care what they looked like.
Right.
And there are still men to this day that'll go, I don't care where, man, just how I
look
look.
at them out there. Look at us.
All right, but she's noticed something that flies in the face of that idea. Because
literally in the face.
If you don't care what you look like, Kimmy, what's the point in using one of these?
Yeah, and I think there's some men that would criticize others for using this thing.
Is it a grooming thing?
No.
Well.
It's not grooming, but it makes you look better.
Yeah.
We'll tell you what it is next to the break room on 96.5 WCMF. Guys are supposed to be the ones that don't care about how they look.
Right. Schlubs.
Women spend money on makeup and clothing and procedures to try and stay young. We just get ugly.
We lose hair. We grow hair all over the place.
However, Tommy, the last few years, that's started to change.
Sure.
We see men now getting some of the same procedures women have done for years.
Sissy boys. What you do to pretty faces.
But one person in this room says she notices something in everyday guys that proves
What?
we care way more about looking young than we let on.
Really?
Looking young, looking better, I guess.
What are we doing?
You hanging out in the break room, Rochester's Classic Rock 96.5 WCMF. So Kimmy brings this up off the air the other day after you had left. What did you start to notice in gentlemen?
So I've noticed more and more on social media, men using what they call filters. So it's when you go to like take a picture or video of yourself, it's kind of like this.
Smooth it out?
It smooths out your skin. Maybe it like evens out anything like uneven on your face. I don't know. Like it presents kind of like a different face than your actual face.
It makes you look way better.
Yeah.
Women have been doing it for a long time.
Well, I mean, the filters have only existed
and photo editing and things like that.
Sure.
But I've just noticed more guys using it like to make themselves look better.
So you're telling me that when you get on Instagram and TikTok and Twitter, you are noticing now regular ass everyday guys.
Everyday guys. It's subtle, but it's there.
Okay.
Even if it's just the lighting's different.
Okay.
You know?
And you think, Kimmy, that this is proof that men today are way more self-conscious about looking good than we let on.
I think that you are putting more thought into the way you present yourselves, especially on social media.
Do you agree with this?
I can see that.
But you don't do it.
Bro, my face is shot.
No, but...
Like, you can't filter.
I don't think...
64, you ain't no 64-year-old filter.
Maybe you haven't found the right filter.
I mean, Kimmy, you could take some pictures of them in filters, and we could see which
we
one
should
looks
try
better.
that. Actually,
they look ridiculous. I would look like a clown.
We'll do that after.
I would look like a clown. So I love how you go, yeah, guys do it. It's not me. I'm tough. I'm cool.
I wouldn't know how to. Where am I going?
You know how.
Do you filter?
No, I don't filter.
Oh, no.
I don't.
It's funny because my friends and I, if my friend comes across somebody that she may be interested in on like a dating app, she showed us a few pictures before of like a guy where we're like, there's something off about his face because it doesn't look the same in every picture. So we've found out that like guys are using it on that kind of thing too.
But why are we turning to this?
Well, okay, that's the question. The phone number is 252-9263. First off, is Kimmy right that everyday dudes are now filtering their pictures before they put them up on social media or whatever? And two, are we more self-conscious about looking old?
It's vanity.
Look, is it there? Because, Tommy, most men would not admit to doing this. We're not allowed to admit that we care about how we look because we're not the pretty sex.
No.
We're the rough and tumble sex.
But you're also on social media more, so you're getting a chance to see what you look like to other people. When you're posting pictures or people are posting pictures of you in group settings, right?
No, I get that.
So you're kind of getting a look at yourself.
But we're also supposed to not care.
Yeah, but your generation probably has changed, and like my generation,
bro. Yeah. It's dudes your age, just like it's dudes my age. Kimmy, tell this man, it ain't just young guys.
Oh, no, I would say the younger guys have perfected it to the point where you can't quite
they
tell
do it
if
anyway.
it's a filter. The older guys have not. They will just straight up like put whatever filter on there, no shame.
But why don't
they don't realize it?
Men all of a sudden have to start looking good.
I don't. Well, we don't have to. That's a funny thing.
But we are.
We're trying to. And look, you bring up a good point. In a world where everyone is taking pictures and posting them, you are exposed to way more of how you look than our fathers and grandfathers were. And add to that, every man over a certain age has had that moment where they look in the mirror when they get up and realize, oh my God, when did I get so old?
Yeah, you're old.
Yeah, I think just in general, people are more aware of what they look like because of social media. Like you might catch yourself at a different angle than you would just looking into a mirror. Like I think you see more of yourself. So people in general have just become more self-conscious about it.
All right, so what percentage of men then, Tommy, do you think are self-conscious enough to do something about it?
Or you actively do something.
Whether it's put a filter on something, whether it's get some kind of skin cream, whether it's have some kind of procedure.
Well, procedure's got to be low because it's expensive.
Well, I mean, but there's also things as simple as like lasers or Botox or something.
Yeah, but still, you got to go with someplace and get it done.
Yes, but I don't want someone to think I'm talking about like a chin.
Right. I can't be more like to do a procedure of some sort, even Botox.
Okay.
Or like that skin tightening cream. I'm going to say it's maybe 20%.
Okay.
And I think I'm being generous with that.
If you found out that a buddy of yours was filtering their face on social media, would you judge them for it?
I'd laugh at them. I mean, I'd point it out and make fun of them.
But what if your filter looks great? You wouldn't start using that?
No.
Why?
Again, sometimes it's not even...
You're thinking about it. You have you admitted, now not to blow up your spot here, that when we did Tommy Muley, This Is Your Life, you could not believe how young you looked in some of those old photos.
Yes. But I'm never getting that back.
Well, I understand, but
like
what
you
if...
can spend the rest of your life chasing the inevitable end of your face. Like my face is at the end of its line. Like
no, that was 10 years ago. I don't even know where we're at now.
But I've gotten a lifetime of face out of my face.
You say that.
No, but I'm done.
I know, like, you may have accepted what your face looks like.
Right.
But you do go out of your way to dress a certain way. Like, if you know that, like, we're going to shoot a commercial, which we've done in the past, you come in your fanciest shoes and your best outfit.
Well, I want to look presentable. I don't want to look like a bum.
But, I mean, if you really accepted this is how I look now, I guess you wouldn't care about those things. So you do.
I do care about my appearance.
You're vain.
I am.
You probably think this break is about you.
But I'm not cutting my face.
Okay.
I ain't dipping my face in some smoother.
You went and got a laser procedure done with my wife.
I did. Hurt like
a bitch.
Yeah, it did. God damn.
It was the greatest thing. It was a couple years ago. He takes me along to videotape because he thought it was funny. And the first time he takes that laser to the face, I could see immediately, why did I let him bring a camera?
It hurt. And all those procedures hurt.
Yeah, no, I get it.
What if there was like a filter that just gave you a slightly more full hairline?
Ooh, I like that.
Where like you couldn't really tell, but wow, that's an improvement.
Okay, yeah, I might try that. Yeah, sure. Because the hair is another thing that is just gone.
Yeah, no, it's bad.
Yeah,
it's bad. You look like...
I look like Brazil.
I was going to say, you look like every shore in Florida that's slowly losing. 252 WCMF. Kimmy says she started noticing men of all ages using filters on social media pictures to the point where, Kimmy, you said when you're looking at like guys on dating apps with your friends, you notice, hey, something's wrong
we
about
will
this
try
guy's
to
face.
dissect, like, is this photo a real photo? Has this been messed with at all based on like other things that they've posted?
So we're wussing out.
Well, but why is it wussing out? I mean, look, it's not something I do. And yes, my knee-jerk reaction is to judge dudes for doing this. But when you stand back and think about it, if it makes you feel better, what's the problem?
Listen, guys are going to do, what's the first thing guys are doing this for?
What's that?
Get laid.
Okay.
And do you think it gets you laid?
Well,
do you think that's the main priority, or is it?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay, but
if you're out on the prowl, if you're a single guy, my age down, you're going out. You're hunting for tail.
But not all the people that are doing it are single guys on the prowl. I think that they are also afraid of people thinking that they look old.
Okay, so you disagree with the sex thing.
I think maybe that's most people. Maybe that's most people that do it. But I've noticed like older guys that are settled down, and I don't think that's the reason they're doing it. I just think that they've realized when they look at that video of themselves, like, wow, they don't like the way they look, and just with a simple, swipe of the screen, they can look a completely different way.
But when you step out the door, you ain't got no filter, man.
But that's everybody that uses one. That's the same
what are you,
case.
Getting dolled up for the Golf Channel?
Yeah, but I mean, you can make the same argument combing your hair. Like, why do you comb your hair and shave your face?
Just to look presentable.
So this makes you look more presentable.
All right, go ahead, do you. You do you.
All right, I want to ask a question as Kimmy brings up this men and filters thing on social media. And while I'll ask the question, think about it, we'll go to the phones because folks have been waiting patiently. Are men who use filters being hypocritical? Because for years, when men met women via social media and online dating, and they didn't look like their pictures.
Oh, yeah.
It was, what do they call that?
Catfishing?
Bait and switch.
Right, yeah.
But you're kind of doing the same thing.
Oh, yeah, you are.
All right, think about that. 252 WCMF. Let's talk to Jeremy. Hey, Jeremy, what's up, buddy?
I was just thinking about that sort of thing. Is it hypocritical, right? If you're going to meet someone and they don't look like their picture, what are you supposed to think? And then I was thinking, how sad are these guys, trying to keep up, with the Joneses or make themselves look better or whatever. But then I remember all the progress pictures I've taken of myself while I'm losing weight, trying to make the shadows really good, trying to make the lighting good that makes you look better. So what's the difference?
No, you're right.
It's the same concept.
It's the same concept. It's just one is digital and one is me, screwing around in the bathroom for 15 minutes trying to get the right lighting so I don't look like so much of a fat ass that I did before.
How much weight are you down,
either
bud?
way, not enough.
Oh, come on. Be proud of yourself.
Pounds.
30 pounds is a lot of pounds,
That's a ton,
Jeremy.
bro.
Yeah, I know, but I'm still 220 pounds of chewed bubble gum. So what's the difference?
You'll get there. Look at Pat. Pat should be your inspiration. What were you, 400? What were you, 401 point?
Man. It was 300 pounds. And Jeremy, if you want, I'll take my shirt off and you can look at me on the live stream to inspire you.
Oh, Jesus Christ. That's what everyone wants. What's next, Tommy?
But you were saying,
boy.
I cut you off. I'm sorry. You were saying.
No, that's just my point is that what's the difference? One is digital and one is me just analog fooling around with lights. I guess it's all the same.
Okay. So
We're all liars.
You're no longer judging filtered men, Jeremy.
Oh, no, I'll judge them.
Okay.
But, it's just me being hypocritical. All right, bye, Dick.
Thanks, buddy. Have a good rest of the day. And Jeremy brings up, you can take that point even further,
What's
right?
that?
Like, every man does something to present himself as something he's not.
Yeah.
We're all guilty of it. And we'll use the date example, right? Like that question, are men hypocritical for now using filters when we got mad at women for misrepresenting themselves for years, right? But if you're going to criticize a guy for using a filter to try and get a first date, you can't lie about your job. You can't wear clothes that are fancier than you normally would to present yourself as more successful.
Right.
You can't take her to a restaurant that you wouldn't normally be able to afford to give the impression that you are doing well for
You
yourself.
have to be straight up honest.
Yes. So
and that's not going to work.
And I've never had a first date like that in my life.
Right.
So if I'm doing any of those things, how is that different than the guy putting the filter on his face?
I guess you're right. You're right.
It's simply a
You're making up for something.
Yes, it's simply a misrepresentation. And even if it's not sexual, we all, to make ourselves feel better, misrepresent ourselves.
Yeah.
You have to.
You want to look big time to anybody,
Yeah.
a buddy, somebody you're interested in, anybody.
Or just, look at Tommy.
We're just living a lie.
Man.
What?
But you make yourself look like, forget the money part. You want to make yourself look like a put together successful person. And you are the most disgusting douchebag, dick, non-sensitive.
I wear many hats, Pat.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, if I saw you walking through Pittsburgh Wegmans, I would think that's a successful, kind, older man, right?
That's what I'm going for.
And you're the opposite of all of that.
Right.
You don't even own a house.
Yeah. But I don't say that.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like,
I'm pure jive.
You're a human filter. All right, let's take a break. We'll talk about guys and the stupid things they do.
Yeah.
Right. But there is a stupid thing that a lot of women have done that land them in the news, in our area specifically, over and over
Like
again.
one lady in particular?
Well, no. It's multiple ladies doing one specific thing.
Really? But they're getting in trouble for it?
We got our first Mom Vic of the year.
Okay.
And maybe this whole time, after we tell you what she's accused of, what she pleaded guilty to, maybe we've been looking at Mom Vic stories wrong this entire time.
Oh.
Because normally we judge them in our own heads based on how much money they stole.
Yeah.
But maybe it's not about how much they stole. It's about the amount and what it means to the place they took it from. Because if that's the case, this woman might be a monster.
She's bad.
Next to the break room on 96.5 WCMF. There is a story we see all the time in the break room.
What's that?
And maybe for the last couple of years, we've been looking at this story wrong. Because these women who take money, who are accused of taking money, we judge the story based on the amount of money that's taken.
Yeah.
But sometimes it's not about the amount. It's what the amount means from the place it was taken from.
Oh, so it has more meaning.
You got
it. It hurts a lot more.
You're hanging out in the break room, Rochester's Classic Rock 96.5. WCMF, biggest Bills game of the season thus far. I mean, every week is now. In about half an hour, we recap Tommy's picks with our good buddies from 95.7 The Fan, Mike Danger, and from the Let's Go Duffalo podcast, Ryan Duffy.
RD.
Just after 9 o'clock on a wild card weekend, Football Friday, here in the break room on CMF. We have our first Mom Vic of the new year.
Ooh, who we got?
So for those new to the break room, a Mom Vic defined as a woman over the age of 30 who works in a clerical position and like a charity, a government gig, a business. And because they are older and sweet and everyone likes them, no one ever expects them to rob the place blind.
They are invisible.
A 58-year-old woman from the town.
Oh, man, that's like the perfect age.
You're not wrong. A 58-year-old woman from the town of Morley, just northeast of us, has been accused of just that. She actually pleaded guilty. She was the treasurer for the volunteer fire department that way. And authorities say from 2016 to 2019, she made unauthorized cash withdrawals from ATMs at Del Lago
lady.
and Turning Stone.
Oh, no.
What's her problem?
From the fire company's account. But it's not just that. They also say that she wrote checks to herself and pocketed the cash, as well as taking money from fundraisers she was supposed to deposit. And they say she paid for groceries and other personal expenses with the cash.
Oh, my God.
So they don't say in the story how much she allegedly took. However, she was, as part of the punishment, ordered to pay $50,000 in restitution when she pleaded guilty this week.
God damn. That's one small-town fire department.
You got it, volunteer fire department. So on top of the $50,000 restitution, she was given 5 years of probation, so no jail time for this thieving woman. Thieving woman. Tommy, $50,000 is a lot of money.
Oh, yeah.
Yet it pales in comparison to some of the other Mom Vic stories we've seen.
Yeah.
Because there are dozens of women, Tommy, who have gone into the six figures in our area that we've talked about. We look at those women as worse because they stole more money. But we might be wrong. This woman may have stole $50,000 from a small town fire department. And I don't know how much of their budget over a few years $50,000 accounts for. But Tommy, I'm sure it's hard for any tiny volunteer fire department to make that kind of money.
You ain't to raise that kind of money.
You got it. Does that make this woman worse than the women who have stole more from places that can handle it?
She stole from your neighbors, right? I mean, she stole from the people. The town people fundraised to get that money, so she ripped off her neighbors.
You can make the argument she
right
stole
out of the boot.
Right.
Right out of the boot.
You can make the argument she stole safety.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like
funds that you could eventually need.
Well, no, you will eventually need, right? I mean, these volunteer fire departments, it's not like they cut them blank checks, right?
Yeah. I mean, this is bad.
I mean, think about the spaghetti dinners that they do every year.
The bake-offs, all that stuff.
All of these things. And this woman pleads guilty to taking a whole bunch of money. It sounds like at least $50,000. Does that make her the worst Mom Vic we've seen?
It makes her a bad mama. That's a bad mama.
Every woman convicted or pleading guilty to being a Mom Vic makes them a bad mama.
No, because she stole. This could hurt families.
And we kind of know what she did with it.
Right.
That makes a difference for you?
Oh, yeah.
I think so.
Why?
She was having her some fun.
Okay, but...
Because, like, a lot of these stories, we always think, okay, well, was this money taken to pay for something that she needed, that her family needed?
Okay.
We always try to give Mom Vic's the benefit of the doubt in a lot of these stories.
You two make up these stories where they have like a
I'm
child or grandchild that we've never once
seen
seen that
know,
story. But
right?
we don't
know.
You don't think that woman would, in her defense, be like, I have a child.
But she's down at Del Lago. She's spending money on a Brooks and Dunn show. She probably went into the gift shop. And, she hit the machine. She's having her some fun.
Okay. And yes, at the expense of the volunteer fire department.
And she hurt families. And for a mother to hurt other families, I think that, like, directly like this makes it far more sinister in my mind.
So it's the safety that it comes down to.
The safety. And, what's a mom about?
Well, tell me.
Keeping the family safe.
Okay.
Moms are the number one barrier it's the enemy of, like, good times. Like they just are, but that's their job. They got to push back.
Here's what I'm curious about. I know we have a lot of volunteer firefighters that listen to our show.
Yeah.
Is $50,000 a drop in the bucket for your budget over a couple of years, or would that have a legitimate effect on what you're trying to do as a volunteer fire department? Because I don't know.
It could go towards equipment you might need.
That's what I mean.
Yeah.
Like, okay, so let's say this woman took $50,000, because that's the restitution. Again, talking about our first Mom Vic of the year, 58-year-old woman accused of stealing over a couple of years, $50,000. It sounds like, based on the restitution she's paying, from a volunteer fire department, small town northeast of us. If you don't have the money for equipment you need in a volunteer fire department, is there somewhere you can go in an emergency to get that money, or do you just not get that stuff?
Oh, like they have an emergency fund?
Well, I don't know. I would think that, like...
Or do they borrow it?
Borrow it? Hey, we got a fire. Go drive 25 miles. Oh, you mean the money. I thought you meant the equipment.
No, I meant like, can you...
Hey, Springville, I need a mask and I need one fast.
Can the fire department, because it's volunteer, can they take out a loan from the bank?
Why would the bank loan them money? They're not a business.
So you'll put their fire out eventually?
That's called extortion.
I don't know. But I thought that's how it works.
Like, same thing with ambulances, because we hear all the, we hear about these small ambulance services that
They're
are shutting
private,
down,
right.
because they say they can't afford to operate anymore, right? Like, if an ambulance service, volunteer ambulance service, needs a piece of equipment, do they just go without if the money's not there, or does it come from somewhere else?
Ooh, go without.
Because if you go without, you can then make the argument that this woman is the worst Mom Vic we've ever seen.
The guys could die.
But then again, you compare her to another woman that shocked us. There was a couple of months ago, a woman in our area was accused of stealing over $1 million from Wegmans. Now, that woman says that it's all a mistake. I believe it was like $2-point-something million. She says she is innocent. It was a misunderstanding. So that court case is still playing out.
All right.
Is this woman from the small town a worse Mom Vic than a woman who's accused of stealing millions of dollars from a major company?
Oh, you would have to say this woman's worse.
So $2-point-something million versus $50,000.
I think this does more damage to more people.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I mean, this really,
And it hits home.
Yeah. You talk about hurting local, this is hurting local.
Hurting local. Always hurt local, Tom.
Yeah, if you can.
All right.
I mean, you're taking away from an emergency service.
And it's a small town I have never heard of. What's it called? Morley?
Morley. It's,
I don't know what that budget
It's like on the edge of the North Country.
I've never heard of it.
Well, yeah.
So it's got to be puny ass.
You know why you never heard of it? They never had a major fire because their volunteer fire department always
Was
on
that
point.
good?
Yeah, until this woman showed up. But like if she took $50,000 and that other woman allegedly took 2-point-something, I mean, that's what, 20%? Of what that other woman took? Like, I mean, it's a sliver compared to other women that we've seen.
Yeah, but you're talking about a big pie, small pie.
You're also, it's interesting that you have this take because we bring up the fire department. We've had dozens of women, Mom Vics, that have been accused of and convicted or pleaded guilty to taking money from charities.
Yes.
Yet you've never raised this point then.
I guess because, you and I have done a lot of these fire halls around the area when we were doing stand-up.
It's the only work we could get.
Right. And, these guys...
In fact, Tommy, to get gigs, would set things on fire. Start telling jokes to the firefighters that got there. That'll be $20, $20.
But, these guys are operating, with not very much.
Okay.
They were just small... Basically, they were just a small garage and a couple of, machines in there, but that was about it.
Sure.
So I can't imagine them being without 50G. Even if it's over a couple of years.
Kimmy, can you Google what a fire truck costs? Like a modern
It's got to be millions.
So where do they come up with that money?
I mean, I'm guessing they...
I don't think you have to replace them that often.
Well, no, I'm saying, but they do have
to get them at some point.
Yeah, like I live in Henrietta, and they have... It's kind of cool. Now I feel like a 3-year-old.
Well, I guess your property taxes probably pay for the fire engine.
Okay, all right.
But think of Morley. What's the town of Morley? It's got to be small.
Yeah. It might even be a village, to be honest.
I mean, they probably don't have a lot of money.
Sure.
So they may be operating with the same fire truck for 20 years.
Or a guy with a bicycle and a hose that goes really long.
No, I think Jed retired.
I mean, it's a
mill.
It's a huge
brand
variation
new, nice.
Because it says the price of a fire truck depends on age, condition, and the equipment on it. So it could range from like $1 to $2 million.
Okay, so it's his age condition, right?
Yeah.
So that means then, based on that information, there are fire departments buying used fire trucks. We've never really heard of that before. Would it bother you if you found out your fire department in your town, volunteer fire department or village, had a used fire truck?
Depends how old.
Say it's a 03.
All right, that's not so bad.
It's over 20 years.
All right, but
20 years.
But don't forget, I mean, it's not like you're running them around constantly.
Well, it depends on how many fires there are.
All right.
So that would, an 03
Not 3 fire trucks.
03 fire truck would not. What year would it start to bother you?
It would have to look, like when
old.
trucks, when you see like old pictures of like trucks, what they used to look like.
It would have to look out of date,
yeah,
out
the
of
rounded
style.
fronts.
Yeah, when that looks like Ralph Cramden style bus front.
Kimmy doesn't know who that is.
You don't know who Ralph Cramden is?
TV show.
It's the TV show.
TV show.
You've seen his statue in New York City.
Yes. No, I would have to say, yeah, it'd have to look that old school look.
You know what's funny, too? A lot of these volunteer fire departments, they have those vintage, what do they call them, pumpers?
Yeah, but for display.
No,
They're
I
not
know.
horse drawing coming up to your house.
I understand, but
Yeah.
maybe we're underestimating how much money local fire departments have. Because if they can afford a fire truck that they don't use as a fire truck, maybe they have the money to cover all this stuff. Maybe our volunteer fire departments are the best people with money we've ever seen.
So they're loaded.
I don't know.
All right.
Kimmy, could you Google? This is an impossible question. Like what the average budget for a town fire
Yeah,
department?
that's going to
all
be a
over.
huge range.
I mean, if they were making a ton of money, they wouldn't have a problem with volunteers because that's been an issue in our area the last couple of years. You could just pay those people.
Right,
And the
but
fact
they're
that you
not.
can't means you don't have the monies. I wonder how many volunteer because there are some men and women that just love doing that job. They want to be there. They want to help the community.
It's in their blood.
How much? Well, no, when it gets in your blood, then you got a problem. It's because they don't have the equipment. What does it cost you to be a volunteer firefighter? Like, do I have to buy things to volunteer?
Like the...
Is there equipment I have to purchase?
Like your whole fire outfit?
Well, not that you would have to buy the whole fire outfit, but like for this job, right? Like we have to buy our own headphones.
Right.
Like EMTs.
I got to bring my own axe?
I don't know.
I would assume they got everything there.
There are always those like hidden costs in jobs that you have.
For what, like the boots?
The boots. No, I don't know what they could be. It could be something as simple as like a filter that goes in a mask or something like that.
Oh, all right.
But those things might be expensive. Kimmy, what do we got?
Says in many cases, volunteer firefighters are provided with their basic equipment and uniforms by the fire department they work for.
Okay, so
you get the base.
Okay.
But if you want to step up, maybe.
What, the Cadillac of masks?
They might have that.
Maskalax?
They might have high-end stuff.
All right, here's a big question. You always know when someone's a volunteer firefighter because every article of clothing on them says they're a volunteer firefighter.
True.
Fair statement?
For the town.
Okay. Do they have to pay for those sweatshirts and zip-ups and jackets and hats, or are those provided by the volunteer fire department?
Maybe you get like 1 or 2 free things. If all the extras.
All right, let me ask you this, Tommy.
Personalized.
Would you change your mind about how much money volunteer fire departments need if you found out they covered all of the like wear out to the bar wear, like the sweatshirt and the t-shirt and the hat and the jacket, if they covered it for their volunteers? Would that bother you?
No, because that can't be that much.
I mean, it seems like a small cost.
I mean, a hat and a windbreaker.
Well, those 3/4 zips are pretty expensive, man.
They are?
Yeah.
Oh.
By the way, the only people that wear those, you know what I'm talking about, Kimmy. They're like borderline denim sweatshirt. They zip here all the way up, and it's got like the fire department logo. It's the only group of people who wear that specific article of clothing. You never see that for any other business. Like they don't sell
like the uniform, like semi-uniform.
Well, no, it's just what you see wearing it like the small town bar every night.
So like when we went to we did those comedy shows at these fire halls. And they're at the fire hall, right? So you remember, like, some of them, like, I think it was one out in Spencerport, the one in Dansville. It had, like, a side room.
Yes.
With, like, fold-in chairs. They had a stage. They had a bar set up.
Yep.
So did they...
They rent those out.
Oh, so they make money on that, too, right?
Yeah, banquet hall.
I know people who've gotten married at fire auxiliaries.
Yeah, so, I mean, they can generate income.
Unless, I guess you're right. All right, maybe we were wrong. This woman's fine. They're rolling in cash at the volunteer fire department. All right, let's take a break. We got Danger and Ryan coming in just a little while to recap Tommy's picks. But before we get there,
what we got?
You're a man who loves space.
Yeah.
You're a man who loves the moon.
Mm-hmm.
Big moon landing guy, because on your 10th birthday...
Yeah, man landed on the moon.
Well, we're going to do it again. But it turns out it's going to take a little longer than we thought.
I don't get it, man.
Bro, it's
amazing when you look at the stats of what we did then and how all of a sudden it's super hard now. It's baffling.
Well, bro, it's got some people coming out of the woodwork saying, oh, you know what this proves, man?
Oh.
You know what this proves.
Oh, here we go.
We'll get into it next in the break room on CMF. We got Mike Danger and Ryan Duffy.
Our days in the house.
Coming on in just about 10 minutes to recap Tommy's picks on the biggest Football Friday thus far of the season. But before we get there, here in the break room on 96.5 WCMF, Kimmy thinks this is going to make you angry.
Me?
Yeah, not what's going on.
I'm not going to get angry.
With the government.
It's weird, too, because I think you're going to get angry about it, even though you almost just went down that road.
Oh. So we've talked about this on the show in the last couple of years because you're a big moon guy.
Mm-hmm.
You love the moon.
Yeah.
And you love space.
Yes, I do.
We know that the U.S. plans on sending manned moon missions back into space again. Well, man and woman this time.
Oh, a lady.
Yeah, it'll be the first first woman on the moon.
Wow.
The Artemis 2 mission, which was going to be a flyby of the moon, would set up a second mission to bring us back onto the moon for the first time in over 50 years.
Yeah.
That first mission was supposed to happen this year. It won't anymore. NASA, citing safety concerns, announced yesterday they are pushing the flyby mission back to 2025 with the actual landing on the moon back to 2026. And you said this is bizarre to you.
Yeah, because we did all this in 1969 with no technology we have today.
Yeah.
This should be a dunk by now.
You're saying what? You just like jump up high and you're on the moon?
Yeah, like you and I should be able to take trips to the moon as tourists at this point. We did it 50 years ago.
Okay.
Look at the technology now. Why is this so goddamn hard?
Look, what you're saying, it makes logical sense. But that has brought
sure has
certain people out of the woodwork. Conspiracy theorists are now screaming online that the fact that we're pushing these missions back is proof that man never landed on the moon in the first place.
I know. They're all out there. These hippies.
Fake moon landing, Tommy.
Yeah.
And
they're making the same argument you just made.
Exactly. Exact same argument as to why.
If they could do it back then, we have better technology now.
Well, here's what I think it is. I think we're not willing to risk like we used to. Like, there was a point, I think we talked about it off air. Like, if a couple of those guys blew up, they go, all right, who's next?
Well, a couple of them did. Like the space race, they blew up.
Oh, yeah, in horrible ways. And, like, we didn't miss a beat, man. We still had another one of those in the hangar ready to go.
So you think that the sensitivity of watching the astronauts die for a pointless mission would bother Americans more today?
Yeah, I know, but there was a huge pushback. There were huge, when they were launching Apollo 11 to go to the moon, there were huge protests all over the country saying, why are you spending all this money when you got all these problems down here?
Which I think is another valid argument, although I do want to see us land on the moon. I'm confused.
But, I mean, there was big pushback. It wasn't all like everybody was cheering for this.
No, I hear what you're saying. Houses are expensive than more expensive than they've ever been, and Whitey's on the moon.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. You said it, man.
But here's the thing. You bring up these points, and you seem concerned. I mean, legitimate concern. Yet, if we do this, you're going to watch every second.
Oh, yeah. And I didn't realize we're the only country that ever put a man on the moon. I always assumed that the Russians did.
So the Russians have never been to
nobody except the United States. The last person
who else
that was
would it be? Australia's not
it
taking a kangaroo to the moon.
It would have been China with the kind of money and space program.
Sure.
But they're going to try to do it in 35.
China is.
Yeah.
What's the point now if you're China?
Because they want to go to Mars. So this is a springboard to Mars.
Okay. But you'd have to build what? Like a... Are they planning on building something on the moon to take off to Mars?
I don't think I'm not going to see it. You may see it in your lifetime, but the way you live.
Well, here's the thing.
You run your mouth.
The way they push it back a year, you're not going to see the second moon landing in a lifetime.
I'm going to see it.
252-WCMF, 252-9263. The moon landing mission that was supposed to start this year and end in 2025 has been pushed back a year by NASA, citing safety concerns. So the flyby mission on the moon will happen in 2025, the actual landing on the moon. And again, Kimmy, the story said we were going to see the first woman on the moon as well.
I believe so.
Okay. Will happen in 2026, which has conspiracy theorists coming out of the woodwork saying this is proof that Stanley Kubrick taped the moon landing on a soundstage.
I know.
Well, look, but here's Kimmy's right. You are making their same argument, and you're
starting
looking
to go
at me
down
like,
that road.
Oh my God,
they even made a movie about it. It's called Capricorn 1.
Okay.
And one of the co-pilots, O.J. Simpson.
Oh, I forgot about this.
Yes.
And they were trying to kill O.J.
Yeah, so
the tables have turned.
Yes, it's a really cool movie.
Well, it was until about 1994.
I was going to say, what year did it come out?
Oh, it came out years ago, like probably in the 70s. It had to come out in the 70s.
Does it bother you Because Kimmy had this question.
Yeah.
That one of the greatest scientific accomplishments in the history of the United States, arguably in the history of mankind, has this many people believing it never happened.
Yeah, I mean, it is alarming.
Does it bother you personally?
Yeah, because we did it.
But I feel like you're personally offended by it, mainly because it happened on your birthday.
Yes. You ruined my birthday, man.
Stop ruining my birthday, man. You only turned 10 once.
Yeah, Yes. I think because I'm also deeply connected with my birthday.
Okay. Because here's the thing.
I still get a postcard every year from NASA.
Shut up.
No, I still do.
No, you don't.
I get because it fell on my birthday.
No,
I think
don't.
anybody had a birthday on the moon landing. You get a
Shut up.
Buzz Aldrin signed it.
No kidding.
Yeah.
He died like 10 years ago.
It's
I'm
weird,
still
though.
getting them.
It's weird they address it to your wife's house.
They track you. You don't think NASA can track your
They
ass?
can't get to the moon. They're going to track you. Your postcard has been delayed by a year, and the bigger postcard by 2 years. All right, let me ask you this question. Because, look, we live in a country now where it seems like everyone has a conspiracy theory, and everybody wants to tell you about their conspiracy theory. Let's say you got a good buddy of yours.
Yeah.
You've known him for years. You bring up this story, just talking, shooting the crap, right? And he goes, oh, yeah, we never went to the moon. Is that enough to gas that friend?
No.
So you would stay friends with moon landing denier?
Yeah, because, I worked with them before.
Really?
Across the street. Oh, yeah, they all thought it was fake.
Wait, really?
Yeah.
We have the dumbest business.
Yes.
I mean, that's us talking.
Yes.
Yeah.
But they all thought it was fake.
Okay. Like, the one argument as to why the moon landing isn't faked is if you faked it, it would be this massive production.
What did you do with the rocket that you fired off?
Well, you put it in the ocean. And then you
Okay, then you crashed it somewhere? All right.
But I guess to me, take all the scientific stuff out of it, because I don't understand that. I'm not a smart man. Like, the amount of people that would have to keep that secret forever.
Right.
Yeah.
You couldn't do it.
Impossible.
Right. And think about this. You're sitting on the $1 billion story of a lifetime and nobody spilled their guts.
Yeah.
And you had
Nobody wrote a book.
Right. And you had a very honest president, Richard Nixon, that was overseeing the space program.
I mean, you look at other stuff we found out about later, like the Tuskegee experiments, which were terrible. MK Ultra experiments, right? Like, that was a much smaller thing.
Sure.
And that eventually
and
came
it got
out.
busted.
But that's what I mean. Like, you have it would take 1/10 of those people to pull all that stuff off, and it eventually came to light. Like,
Think how many people worked on the space program back then. It was hundreds of thousands of people.
Yes.
Spread out all over the country.
Yeah.
And everybody would have to be quiet. Hey, this is just a costume.
It's weird that there's an 80-year-old female comedian from the Poconos talking about it. It's just a costume, sweetheart. Try to feel.
But that's why there's so much fascination around, like, Area 51 and stuff, too, right? Because, like, there's not enough to go on, but just enough to make you question stuff.
But
to your point, like, how
around.
would everybody keep that secret?
But these people with these theories have been around since the 40s.
You know, you just reminded me of something.
Yeah.
It's been a crazy 4 years.
Oh, sure.
Remember when the craziest thing that happened in our lives were when a bunch of idiots were going to try and storm Area 51?
Yes.
Remember that was
Didn't that happen, like, right before COVID?
Yes, but that was a legitimate story that we talked about. Like, how could this affect the world in a negative way?
And they were like, don't do that.
Yep.
You will die.
And then the next 4 years just made it. Like, we totally forgot about that story. That's how insane this Okay, let's take a break. There's one thing that's going to be insane.
Oh, boy.
What happens on that field Sunday in Orchard Park, 1 o'clock. And this is a hard game to handicap. One, because the weather has become a wild card in this wild card weekend. Two, because the Steelers team has done what the Bills also did to make it into the playoffs. And the fact of the matter is, despite this massive point spread, the Steelers, are only a game back of the Bills. Tommy made his picks this morning. We have our experts, one celebrating a very special day.
Oh, boy.
Mike Danger, Ryan Duffy. Recap Tommy's picks next on a Football Friday Wildcard Edition in the break room on CMF. Bills, Steelers, 1 o'clock live Sunday right here on 96.5 WCMF. It is Super Wild Card Weekend. Wow. That's right. If you want to watch the game,
watch it.
Well, you can hang out with one super cool fella.
Have a couple of cocktails. I love this place.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
All of a sudden?
Yeah.
Tommy's going
to
be hanging out at the Bill Gray's Tap Room in Chi-Li Sunday for the game, and all of you folks from the West Side, and have heard all of the things that Tommy said about the West Side for all these years.
How cool it is, nice people.
You get to go and hang out with Tommy in Chi-Li, my childhood Bill Gray's. Enjoy yourself. By the way, pitchforks, torches not allowed in the Bill Gray's Tap Room, so leave those at home. Tommy made his picks this morning, joining us, as they do every football Friday, our good buddies from 95.7 The Fan, Mike Danger.
Morning, gentlemen.
You catch him on the Sports Bar 3 to 6 every weekday. And from the Let's Go Duffalo podcast, available now on the Odyssey app, wherever you get your podcasts, Ryan Duffy.
Happy to be back for at least one more week.
That was what a terrible omen.
Hey, well,
way to start, Dick.
Going into last week, we weren't even sure if we were going to be here this week.
Oh my God!
All right, I see the hat over there, though. I think we're in good. We're in good shape.
The hat is out.
The hat's been speaking to him.
The hat is loose.
Good.
Before we get into the football stuff, happy birthday, Danger!
Yeah.
Happy birthday time! Yay!
Thank you.
Many
Thank you.
more.
Thank you.
How old are you?
49.
Legit
49.
Why'd you say
I had you 50.
Wow, you don't say that out loud after he says
He's
49,
a guy.
idiot. Oh, you 49. Wow. Here's the best part. Danger's daughter is here here today. She's decorated everything. She decorated your office.
She's so grounded, man. I'm so done with her. She's in so much trouble.
Did I hear she decorated your car this morning?
I go into my car. There's balloons everywhere, streamers everywhere. I mean, I didn't plan for extra time to clean up decorations today, but that's my day today.
So it's when you guys put on the rose and Mike and Sandy came out,
sure,
and my wife sat next to your wife and they got along great, so we're going home and I was trying to explain to my wife you and Sandy, and I go, they're one of my favorite couples, and I don't know why.
Well, you can't give a reason.
Right? She goes, why? And I go, I don't know. So I don't know what that means.
I don't know how we make it work either, though, man. So I mean,
I don't know. I go,
All right, well, getting into this football stuff, Danger, we were just having a talk off the air about the weather this weekend. There was a story, one stupid morning show, radio show in Pittsburgh made the claim that a guy knew another guy who worked at the stadium in Cleveland and that he was told to, quote, be ready for the game to be moved to Cleveland. That story got picked up internationally.
I want to say that was one of our properties as well. They're in an Odyssey sister station.
I hope not, because I made a lot of fun of him earlier this morning.
We can make fun of him. It's okay.
Good. So the game, that's a bogus story. The game is not being moved to Cleveland at all. But, Dange, they're talking anywhere between 7 to 12 inches of snow. You're talking about wind chills that could get down near 0 degrees, concerns that so much snow comes at once from the lake effect that there may be roads closed down, and then the potential it affects how the game goes. Are you concerned at all about the Bills' on-field performance based on what the weather looks like Sunday?
You have to factor it in, but I don't think you really know what it's going to be until you get to game time, right? Like, we know how lake effect snow works more than they do in Pittsburgh, right? Like, if the wind blows a certain way, you could have a band parked above the stadium for the entirety of the game, and then, it will affect the game. Or it could completely blow by and nothing happens. You might have some wind to deal with, and that's what I'd be more concerned with.
A blow by?
Yeah, a blow by.
Pat's very good at those.
Got that?
Yeah.
So close. This is why you only played firehouses. As we talk about, games that were affected by the weather, the one that comes up most recently to Bills fans is the Hurricane game in Buffalo against the Patriots. Mac Jones wins the game despite only throwing 3 passes. The Bills didn't start trying to throw the ball until the fourth quarter, and it turns out that Josh Allen can throw the ball and Hurricane Force wins. Is that a lesson Sean McDermott learns from no matter the weather on Sunday?
I think possibly, but at the same time, though, regardless of any lesson from the coaching staff, this team this season has shown how resilient they are and that they could rise to any occasion. And if you also think back to another coach, I'm pretty sure McDermott was the coach at this point, against the Indianapolis Colts, the Snow Bowl game that, LaShawn McCoy.
Bills legend Joe Webb gets the win that day.
I want to say that was that McDermott's first year as head coach?
It was the year they broke. Yeah, it was. They broke the drought that year.
Yeah, no, you're right. So I mean, like this team has shown that they can rise to that occasion. And Danger, you make a really good point that like even if the Bills haven't played in this kind of weather yet this season, they are accustomed to it being in Buffalo. Like they know how to navigate it, and I think better than anyone from Pittsburgh could.
It's going my way, baby.
Well, we'll find out. Tommy made his picks this morning. These teams are more similar than you would want to believe. The Steelers are only a game out. Their defense has been carrying them the last couple of weeks. Let's get to Tommy's first pick this morning on a Tommy Tells It Like It Is on CMF. Over under 1.5 interception for this Bills defense.
What do you think? You think that defense is going to let that kid rest?
He hasn't thrown.
You don't think Mr. Ed and the gang are going to get after his ass?
You picked the defensive tackle.
Oh, it's going to be olive time. Put my hand on the hat. Pat is telling me, Pat.
Wouldn't the hat be on your head instead of your
I can't put it on because of my hearing aids and the other stuff.
Okay.
Well, when you get to be my age, you'll figure it out, sister. I'm going to take. What was it, 1.5?
1.5.
Oh, I'm taking
You're taking the over. Oh, yeah. He has yet to throw a pick. You could be down.
You're going to get the
job
done, buddy.
So to be clear,
they're coming.
You are over 1.5 interceptions for this Bills defense on Sunday.
Yeah.
Mason Rudolph, quarterback starting for the Steelers on Sunday. 3 games started, Danger, no interceptions in that run. The Bills, meanwhile, have 8 interceptions in their last 6 games, 5 in their last 2. But a lot of those guys who got interceptions, Russell Douglas, who leads the NFL in interceptions, he may not play on Sunday. He hasn't practiced yet. Safety Taylor Rapp, who got the game-clinching interception against Tua Tagovailoa on Sunday. He's got a calf. He hasn't practiced yet. He could miss the game on Sunday.
Calf.
Is Mason Rudolph due, or are they winning because they're protecting the ball? Over under 1.5 interceptions for this Bills D on Sunday.
I could see them getting a pick. I don't see them getting 2. I'm going to take the under. I don't know that they're going to want to throw the ball. I mean, both of these coaches want to play a physical, ground and pound kind of game, right? Like if Sean McDermott could have the Bills play the way they did against Dallas, I think any coach in the NFL would take that kind of game plan. And that's, I think, what they're going to strive for here when the weather is an element and when that's a factor. You don't want your quarterback throwing the ball around the way that this.
Tommy has put he's old man waved.
I got the big time old
really
man.
Held it for a minute too. I thought you were really trying to make a point.
That is a birthday wave.
That's emphatic. Yeah.
That's why you look 50.
Danger factors in the idea that maybe the game will be close. Like, ideally, if you're the Steelers, you can ground and pound and keep the game close. But, I mean, if the Bills get out ahead, the Bills are favored by a ton, which we'll get to later. Does that factor into potential interceptions Mason Rudolph
That's
throws?
a good point. If the Bills do go ahead early, you can't run the ball for the rest of the game if you want to try to stay in it. So, I mean, you make a good point. However, at the same time, with the uncertainty around the weather, the the less likelihood of the Steelers throwing balls further down the field, like past the intermediary short range passes, that would likely be picked off, and just the identity that they have with 2 star running backs. I just don't see it as far as over 2 picks. So I'm going to take the under on this one.
That's a sweeperoo, buddy.
I feel good about it.
What?
When they're both going the other direction, the hat and me, we go that way.
You and the hat.
We go that way.
The hat that you were talking
what that
to.
is? That's Victory Lane.
Okay. Let's get to our second pick. Stop pointing. From Tommy this morning here on CMF. Over under 40 yards rushing for Bills quarterback Josh Allen.
Yeah. You don't think he's going to run with that ball a couple of times for some big plays?
If the Bills manage to jump out early, you don't want to risk that.
He wouldn't.
No, but Josh will risk it if he sees it. If Josh sees a wide open and everybody's covered, he's gone.
I think we only see Josh putting himself in those positions when he's playing hero Josh.
But don't they also have
if he's in a position where he doesn't have to play hero Josh, you're not going to see it.
What's the hat telling you?
The hat is telling me Josh is going to get over 40 yards rushing.
So to be clear,
you
are over 40 yards rushing for Josh Allen.
What if your mother was back there?
On Sunday afternoon. Ryan, last week against the Dolphins, Josh was the leading rusher of the game with 67. He had 44 against the Pats 2 weeks ago, so he's gone over 40 the last 2 weeks. He had 81 yards rushing against Philly in that overtime game. Over under.
Come on, Cheddar Jack.
40 yards rushing for Josh Allen on Sunday.
I would argue that maybe the Bills have found, a little bit of a secret to keep some drives sustained, in using Josh Allen's legs like they have in years past.
By the way, is that a secret? They've been doing that for the last 5 years.
But they weren't doing it at the beginning of the season, even halfway point through the season. So to your point, over the last 3 games, like Josh has had a significant chunk of rushing yards. I think that's going to continue, whether or not. So I'm going to take the over on that one.
He's going to get those third downs.
Okay, but you would have to then get...
That's what Cheddar Jack's saying.
Cheddar Jack.
The cheese don't lie. It stands alone.
The Steelers' rushing defense is not great. that can play into this, where Josh is going to take off and go. It could also mean McDermott wants to keep the ball in playoff Lenny's hands and James Cook hands. Over under 40 yards rushing for Josh Allen.
Yeah, I like the over. You mentioned these teams are similar, right? Like, you can look at both of their seasons. They've gone through similar adversities. They both fired their offensive coordinator. The biggest differences between these teams is Pittsburgh plays in a better division, and the Bills have Josh Allen. And Josh Allen is going to be the difference on Sunday. You're going to need him to rush for those 40 yards, and he will play hero ball because everything's on the line.
Oh, a little tipperoo maybe for the end of the segment. But hey, let's not blow that.
Yeah.
Mike Danger from 95.7 The Fan. You can catch him on the Sports Bar 3 to 6 every weekday. Ryan Duffy from the Let's Go Duffalo podcast, and actually soon to be also on the Sports Bar, which we'll talk about in a second.
But you got a job?
I know, right?
Nice.
He doesn't have a job. They're going to hire this kid full time.
All it takes is one time. This is my shot.
You've been on this show like 12 times.
This is my shot.
Okay.
A reputable show.
By the way, you're climbing up the ladder way faster than your brother in the radio.
Tell me about it.
So he was sitting here eating busted-ass sushi, no money.
That's a terrible way to talk about your mother. Let's get to our third pick from Tommy this morning here on CMF. Over under 2.5 touchdowns for the Bills offense on Sunday.
It's just any way they get in.
The offense. Doesn't count kick returns, punt returns, or pick sixes.
Offense.
Or fumble returns.
But they can get it any way they have to.
Yes.
Run it in.
Well,
throw
offensively.
It in.
Offensively.
Yes.
In the end zone.
Oh, my God.
Well, I got to say it like that to make sure you're not trying to
I see that stupid look on your face.
Screw me.
Again, keep in mind the snow and wind factor here. That could also cut down on points.
I get it.
I'm just letting you know.
Yeah, I'm going to take the over. They can get 3 touchdowns. 3 lousy touchdowns against Pittsburgh.
Offensively, they didn't do it last week. They did not do it against New England.
They're going to do it. This is going to be cake. They give these things away.
The Bills scored 21 points last week, Danger. One of them was a punt return for a touchdown. Did not get to 3 touchdowns offensively. They've scored 3 touchdowns offensively just twice in the last 5 games. Do you believe it? I know. I was shocked as you were.
But doesn't Josh lead the league in touchdowns?
He does.
Was he like 45,000 or something?
45,000 total touchdowns, yeah. It's been amazing. Danger over under 2.5 total touchdowns for this Bills offense on Sunday.
Can't have those sloppy turnovers like he had last week in Miami, right? They scored 14 points on offense last week, but those turnovers came right around the red zone, right around the end zone. So I think they get the over on that. I think 3 touchdowns is very doable.
See, very doable. They give them away.
Again, just because Danger says it doesn't mean you've won the bet already.
Kind of does.
Okay, Ryan.
Yep.
You have the idea that the Bills have only scored 3 touchdowns twice in the last 5 games, the offense. You also have the idea that weather could impact what happens in the red zone, how hitting on a big play. Over, under 2.5 touchdowns for the Bills offense on Sunday.
That stat you provided is actually very shocking. I didn't realize that was the case. And you think about offensive touchdowns, like, yeah, no, you're absolutely right. It makes sense. However, I think that with T.J. Watt out for the Steelers defense, I think that's a huge contributor to their defensive identity. I think, and I think the Bills are locked in. They know what's at stake. They've been here 4 seasons in a row as the division champions. So yeah, I'm taking the over on this one.
Another sweeperoo. You were so angry at the first
double
pick.
Sweeps.
Double sweeps? That's what they call them, Tommy double sweeps. Let's get to our 4th pick from Tommy this morning here on CMF. Do the Bills win? And if so, do they do it by 11?
Well, I think the Bills are going to win. Okay. Right?
Yep.
Yeah.
And what's your second question?
Well, they would have to win by 11 to cover the spread.
So that's an automatic, if I take they're going to cover, which makes it an automatic bleed. Don't you have to really say that's an automatic blowout.
That's true, yes.
It's a straight-up playoff Sean McDermott bleed.
So you think they're just going to win by 11?
They're ready, baby.
So to be clear, you have the Bills win and covering the 10, which would therefore make it a...
It's an official blowout.
Bleed.
But what are you asking me? You want to be like
I don't know. Give me how many points they win by if you think they're going to win by so big.
I think they win by 2 touchdowns. I think they have a 2 touchdown margin.
Okay.
Over.
Ryan?
Patrick?
The weather changed Wednesday, Thursday.
Yep.
So all of the degenerate gamblers ran to see what the point spread was going to do. The Bills favored by 10 on Tuesday. Mm-hmm. This morning, they are still favored by 10. Okay. Vegas doesn't think the weather is going to affect how well the Bills play against the Steelers on Sunday. Mm-hmm. Do the Bills win? And if so, is it by 11 or more points?
I think that this Bills team knows exactly what's in front of them. I think that they know what's at stake. With that said, though, I'm a creature of habit, and I have to keep riding my hot hand.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't think this is the Bills' week. I think the Steelers are going to put up 469 points, and because I took the over on the touchdowns, I'm going to have to say it's going to be 21 Buffalo, 469 Pittsburgh.
Just for folks that don't know, Ryan picked the Bills to lose and continued during the run, and they've won every time he picks them to lose. So he is continuing to pick the Bills to lose to ensure that they win.
Okay.
So I don't have them. You said the line was 10.
10, yeah.
So 469, 21. Yeah, no, I don't have them covered.
Okay, great. Let's turn to danger. Vegas seems pretty bullish on the Bills still, man. Over under. Or, excuse me. Do they win by 10? And do they win? And if so, do they win by at least?
Look, and I'm not as superstitious as Ryan over here. I don't understand the spread, man. I mean, 10 points feels like a lot of points. These teams are very similar. The Bills they've won games, but they haven't been real authoritative in those wins. They've been pretty inconsistent in those wins. And a couple of those mistakes might come back to haunt the Buffalo Bills if they make them in this game in the playoffs. I have the Bills winning.
Okay.
21-17.
Oh, 4-point win. So you have the Steelers driving in the fourth quarter. Or is it a comfortable 21-17?
Nothing's comfortable with this team.
Okay. Well, look, it could be 5 minutes left, 21-10, they score a touchdown. It could be it's stuck on that, they've got the ball with 5 minutes on the 40.
I mean, would you like to have what we had week 4 against Miami? That would be fantastic, right? Where it's close and then you just put the foot on the gas the second half and it's not even close at the end. Or the Dallas game is, I think, the one that we'll all put on a higher pedestal and be like, that's the game we wish they could play every single week if they can dominate like that. But that was partially Dallas just not showing up. I think Pittsburgh will show up.
All right. With that being said, Tommy has his final pick. Let's get to the bonus pick this morning here on CMF.
That's so fast, buddy. It's going to be a party. I'm telling you, man, this is going to be
an Orchard Park party.
It's going to be an Orchard Park party. They're going to make us. This is going to be a statement game. As you do not want to come to Buffalo and play any of these playoffs. Ooh. People are going to be scared of Buffalo.
Okay, so what's your bonus pick? Did you run out of steam?
Thinking about it
because I was thinking about that snow, and I was thinking about a celebration. Right?
Yeah.
How do you celebrate in the snow?
You tell me, Tommy.
How would you celebrate in the snow
I don't
at
know.
the end of a
in
game?
The end zone?
What would you do?
You make a snow angel.
Yeah, who would make that snow angel?
Who, Tommy?
Sean McDermott.
No. You picked
in the
I
end
was going
zone.
to say Deion Dawkins.
No, that's a big ass snow angel. It's
well,
too
I
big.
think he'd be the one to do it.
It'd be a snow god.
Sean McDermott.
Okay.
That is.
Sean McDermott
is going to join in, and they're going to be making some snow angels. They're going to be having so much fun at the end.
Okay, so to be clear, the Bills win so big that Sean McDermott is doing snow angels in the end zone in Orchard Park. Okay. All right,
and he's got the perfect size head to make a snow angel.
What does that even mean?
His head almost looks like a cutout cookie.
Danger, despite the fact that if the Bills win, it will be his 4th consecutive home wild card win.
Wow. Which is impressive.
Sean McDermott's so excited by the win that he does a snow angel in the end zone to celebrate.
Feels like a no to me.
Okay, that's a no. Like you
feels like a no, but that's not a definite.
McDermott has never shown any emotion in any win in the history of his career.
Now, if he goes home after the game, his kids are there, there's snow on the ground, and does a snow angel, does that still count? Because
if he gets on social media.
I have a feeling Sean McDermott at home isn't the intense
of course not.
Coach Hart ass that he is around he can't do that around the media and around fans and around the Bills, but at home, maybe.
So I'm going to disagree with you there, even. He may be that intense guy, because remember that story from last year when the Bills finally they got done with that on-the-road run, they had clinched the playoffs. He bought a single donut to bring home and eat at his house. He put it on the counter, and his dog ate it, and he didn't go get another donut. So that man is the same man at home that he is in that stadium. All right, so you're a no on the bonus pick.
I'm a no.
All right, Ryan, is Sean McDermott so excited by the win on Sunday that he runs into the end zone after the game is over and does a snow angel?
If there's anybody in this studio that knows me, it's you.
Thank you.
You know that I don't like to deal in absolutes, right? I like to keep things a little open-ended. There's always a possibility.
It's called being close,
I like where this is going.
I'm telling you right now that there is a 0.00 chance that Sean McDermott does a snow angel on the field.
Oh, let him.
If there is virtually no universe that happens. So I'm going absolute 100% in on the no.
So you're a no there.
I'm a no.
Even at his house.
Even at his house.
I don't think he has the pants for it.
The pants?
He doesn't seem like he's a guy that owns snow pants.
What does he wear on the sidelines?
Like I don't know, like warmer pants, but they're not snow pants. He
right.
seems like a guy that if no one was around, he would be shirtless just out of enjoyment while coaching that game. And not like a fun, wacky thing, like, I want my body to feel the cold. The pain makes it better.
But he's still wearing that pontoon hat that he wears during training camp.
Sure, you're right. Ryan Duffy from the Let's Go Duffalo podcast, Odyssey app, Aviation podcast. Mike Danger from 95.7 The Fan. You can catch him every weekday 3 to 6 on 95.7 FM, 950 AM. What do you guys got going on today?
So today we'll talk to Brooke Pryor. She's the Steelers reporter for ESPN. She'll be joining us at 4:25, and then we'll get some winners from the host of Send It In on the BetQL Network. PJ Glasser will give us his favorite plays for Super Wildcard Weekend.
Can we talk about how disrespectful those two words were?
Well, you don't think of many. There's not a lot of lady reporters.
You mean like every single broadcast has multiple?
Well, there's sideline
and then
chicks.
Kimmy correcting you about football stuff.
Well, that's different.
Kimmy is a sideline chick for RIT hockey. It's
All
different.
right.
You think you could be a sideline chick? You got the chest for it. You got sideline boobies, bro. And
Hey, by the way, all they do is, hey, coach, what are you going to do in the second half?
No, they don't.
Not talk to you, bitch. I got things to do.
For God's sake, are you serious right now?
God.
Are you serious
What?
right now? Whoa. Get these ladies out of here, right, guys? Right, guys? You can't name, we've had this discussion, Mason Rudolph excluded. Name a healthy Steeler.
I don't know. They're all banged up.
No, they're not. You can't name a single Steeler. Williams?
Washington,
Yeah,
Jonesy, and Smith.
I know all about football. I don't know the name of a player. Also, Two Worlds Collide next week.
What happens next week?
Well, Danger, you're flying solo on the sports bar.
On Tuesday.
Yeah. So to co-host with Danger 3 to 6 Tuesday, January 16th, you found a very special co-host.
Well, the demand has been there for months. I mean, I'm not oblivious to what's going on.
Thank you.
What's going on?
The Let's Go Duffalo podcast is just catching fire. The kids are all about it.
Yeah.
I hear about it
It's on social media.
the TikToks. I mean, it's caught a lot of steam. And so, we want to capitalize on that momentum in the sports bar. So Ryan Duffy will be joining me Tuesday afternoon in the sports bar. Gene may never speak to me again.
Well, so that's a plus.
Everybody wins.
Do you feel that?
What?
It's me infiltrating your life and becoming you.
What?
Yep. You're gonna be just kicked right off to the side, outside on Commercial Street, shaking your can, just being like, "Come on, help me out a little bit." Now I'm gonna be in here on that big chair with a clean microphone, for God's sake, and I'm going to absolutely take this radio world by storm.
This is a weird sibling rivalry we have here. This is a weird one.
I've been preparing for this my whole life. This has been my long game.
So catch that and more Tuesday, January 16th.
And you can find us on TikTok and Instagram at lets.go.duffalo.
All right. Danger, Ryan, always a pleasure.
Thanks for having me.
Oh, yeah, no, look what you got yourself into, homeboy. Let's take a break. It's Friday. You know what that means?
We're going to creep it out, buddy.
That's right. We got a creep cap coming at you, and you're never too far from a Mexican restaurant.
Well, yeah, the two big ones.
No. I mean, in the country, you are not going to believe.
How many Mexican? Is it?
It's not even how many. Yeah, something has changed, and I feel really bad for the Chinese.
Oh, they're getting squeezed out?
You make it sound bad that way. Now we're going to be doing like Crossfire. Squeezing out the Chinese for the Mexicans. We'll get into it next in the break room. Let's see you back. You know, we kind of talked about this in the past here on the break room about how this food is slowly taking over as America's favorite.
The number one.
Yes, but the reason for that could be now all of our access to it all the time, everywhere. You're hanging out in the break room, Rochester's Classic Rock, 96.5. WCMF, we'll get to that in just a second, but it's Friday.
Yeah, buddy.
You creepy son of a bitch.
Well, thank you.
All the disgusting things Tommy said all week long. It's a creep cap. It happens now on CMF.
Yes. Yeah. Oh, man. All right. God. All right. How hard? Okay. All right. I love it.
You'll get to ride dinosaurs.
Well.
If you want to.
I did that with your mom.
You get to see real dinosaur fossils and dig for pretend ones, which is what I do with your mom.
I'm a cob guy.
Oh, yeah?
I love it on the cob.
Wait, you're kidding me.
I love running my mouth down the cob, eating the corn, pulling the corn off with my mouth.
Why didn't you tell me
on the
this?
shaft of the corn
Why
cob.
did you not tell me this?
I'm big. What do you got?
I just started this new business.
What do you got?
Well, it's a cob business.
Where's it at?
It's down in the men's room.
Wow.
Yeah.
What's it called?
It's called Uncle Pat's Close Your Eyes. I'm going to give you a cob surprise right in your mouth. Sauce. Like 10 yards wide, 10 by 10 yards wide.
Wait, your mom's going to be there?
And the ground gave way.
So you got a whole road full of butt pudding.
You
know it's pudding. No, I think it's around pre-pubes.
Your pube.
I am only using I use my pubes as a timeline for a lot of things.
Like, I'm going to be eating 2 bags of nuts out of the vending machine today, no doubt about it.
Wait, you need some nuts?
I do.
Why didn't you tell me?
Why?
I got this new kiosk in the men's room.
Really?
Yes.
What's it called?
It's called Uncle Tommy's Old Fashioned Energy Nuts. Sauce.
Oh, there's sauce with it.
Oh, there's some sauce coming. And it's unique, huh?
Bro, it's the most unique thing you will ever taste.
Oh. Well, your mom's doing a buffet?
Where do pubes come from?
It comes from the pubic area. Think they grow those in a lab too? My mouth's open. I want you.
Yeah, you don't say it like that.
Put something in my mouth, ma'am. I love you. Fill my mouth with your love. It's so good to be a creep.
There it is, the creep cap on CMF. Tommy, you're never too far from a Mexican restaurant.
Yeah, I guess so, with all the chains you got now, right? Is Chipotle considered Mexican?
So that's a good question.
Moe's.
They don't get into this kind of thing if Taco Bell, Moe's.
Is like a Southwest considered Mexican food?
It's a good question, but here's what I have for you.
What do you got?
New data shows that 99% of Americans have a local Mexican restaurant.
Wait, mom and pop style?
It doesn't say, it just says local. So
okay.
I mean, Chipotle is local. Maybe that counts. But they found here that because Mexican has become so popular, 99% of Americans have a go-to Mexican restaurant. And they define local as having a restaurant in your county.
Okay.
Only 85% of counties in America have a Mexican restaurant, but the ones that don't are so sparsely populated, you still get 99%, and it is by far the highest percentage for any ethnic restaurant in America.
Which is weird, because I always figured Chinese food is all over the place. I was always amazed, like, I can remember, like, being in Nebraska and going to a place, smaller town, right? Like,
sure.
And there'd be a Chinese restaurant.
I'm with you 100%. I was shocked by this.
Farm town, burgers, meat and potatoes, but they had a Chinese restaurant.
No, you're right 100%. But has Chinese gone bad? Because Chinese and Mexican are very similar foods. They're very unique. They're very inexpensive, and they can make them for you fast.
Yeah.
But is it the way it's viewed health-wise, like where even though you feel like you're making a better bad decision by eating the Mexican food versus the Chinese food?
That's a good question. I mean, anytime you have Chinese food, you're just a blimp of sodium for the next 3 days.
Yes.
Right? I mean, you know you're making a bad choice. It's a delicious bad choice, but you know what you're getting into.
You will not be able to get your wedding ring off for minimum a week.
Yeah.
So last year, there were almost 800,000 open restaurants across the United States, like restaurants in business.
Yeah.
About 11% of those restaurants served Mexican food.
So that's the largest ethnic thing.
That's according to this study we have in front of us. And Mexican food is, according to the study, the most easily accessible and now most popular for younger generations food in America. We talked about this story a couple of weeks ago. For Gen X and baby boomers, it was Italian. For Gen Zers, Mexican was listed as their favorite food.
All right.
So we're going south of the border, baby.
Yeah. It's delicious.
Taco Tuesday. Maybe that's what got people into the whole... Because there's always specials.
Yeah.
So for younger people, I would think, like, I would flock to somewhere like that as a broke kid.
Yeah, and
looking to eat as many tacos as possible.
No, you're right. And again, to your point, like if you want to try and not eat bad. There are always things on a Mexican menu where you're like, okay, I can do this.
But there's also a lot more Latin American people now in the last 50 years.
Well, see,
I think it's the largest ethnic group now is Latin American.
Well, it's interesting you bring that up because I don't know how much that plays into it. Like whenever I go to a Mexican restaurant, I never see Mexican people.
Yes, but I mean, if you go south of here,
maybe
you do.
Okay, when you go to a Chinese restaurant, there's never Chinese people ordering the food. When you go to a Mexican restaurant, there's never Mexican people ordering the food because, look, maybe if you're a first, second generation immigrant, you probably know how to make that stuff at home.
And it ain't making the cut.
Like, for example, there's a Jamaican restaurant in, they just moved to Gates. It's called Libby's. It's my favorite, one of my favorite restaurants in Rochester. You can always tell the guys whose wives are out of town, Jamaican guys, because they come in like looking over their shoulders because they don't want their wives to know that they're eating someone else's Jamaican food.
Oh, really?
You know what I'm saying? Like, it's like, it's a pride thing.
Yeah.
Right? Just like your Italian grandmother would be furious if you passed on her, whatever to go eat at Red Fideli's. That is weird, though. You see Italians eating Italian all the time.
Oh, yeah.
Italian restaurants. The hell's going on?
All right.
Italians have no shame about eating Italian food that's not prepared by ma or grandma.
It was more of the social thing, maybe.
Okay. So you're saying
it's a place to gather.
Mexicans are antisocial, according to Kimmy.
Well, no, I'm saying with the
all
Italians.
All emails can be written to Kimmy at WCMF.com.
Italians more like sit down, dine in, whereas I'm thinking like a lot of the other places more like take out, grab and go.
Yeah, that's
style.
it. Chinese food is not road food. Like you can't eat Chinese food in your car unless you want to be scalded.
No, you're right. But
usually having it delivered.
But Mexican food you can eat in the car easily.
But here's the thing: when you think of the most popular Mexican restaurants in the greater Rochester area,
well, you got to go Taco Bell.
Well, all the mom and pop places, they're all sit down restaurants.
Right.
You know what I mean?
But you can. But it could be either. It could be takeout or. It might be like an even divide of like if I'm going to sit down and eat versus I'm just going to grab and go.
And Mexican food has no competition for that kind of food. There's nothing similar. Like that flavor and that style of food, nothing else you can't substitute it.
I agree with you, but can't you make the same argument for Chinese? What tastes like Chinese?
Yeah, true. Well, that's why they were so popular for so long.
Okay. It's just strange.
But it's maybe there's less Chinese people coming into this country. I don't know.
Well, okay. So you're saying the lack of immigration would cut down on the amount of Chinese restaurants? Okay, I guess. By the way, can I ask a potentially stupid, ignorant question?
Oh, by the way, here's something else.
What?
I think some of the Chinese food switched over to sushi, which probably doesn't count.
Does that so is sushi Japanese traditionally?
Right, but that might be where the audience went.
Is it bad that I think that
it's so different in style? You know what I mean? Like it's not the same food at all.
But it is Asian cuisine.
Okay. Yeah. Are you just being an idiot thinking everything that's Asian is Chinese food?
Well, I mean, you can get sushi in China. But you ain't getting no damn cheese.
There ain't no cheese in China.
Ain't no cheese in China.
Like my husband loves Chinese food, not a fan of sushi.
Samesies.
Yeah.
Samesies. And it always bothers me too, because you're right. Now that I think about it, there's a lot of places that serve sushi that won't serve traditional Chinese food. How hard? Just make me some noodles, man. I don't want to eat sushi. My kids want it. Can I just get some noodles, please? Please.
I cut you off, though. I'm sorry. I cut off.
I forget what I was going to say. Bottom line is, if you're looking for Mexican this weekend, you won't have to travel far. And I hadn't realized it until I saw this study this morning, but I'm within a 10-minute drive of like 5 sit-down Mexican restaurants.
Sit down?
Yeah. There's the one in...
Well, Chipotle, you can sit.
There's the one in Pittsford. There's a fantastic one, Mikate in Henrietta. There's a couple in Gates that are not far from me. There's one in Chili that's not far from me. There's probably more than that. Henrietta has multiple sit-down Mexican restaurants. Down in the West Texas town of Henrietta. We come back. We wrap it up. We tell you what we're doing Monday. Post up. We'll get into it next on CMF. That's going to be Rapparoo.
Audio pregame Rapparoo, boy.
For a Football Friday CMF, don't forget Bills Steelers live, 1 o'clock live, Wild Card Weekend here on CMF.
Damn.
If you want to watch a game and have a party.
Oh, there's going to be a party, buddy.
Man, the partiness, man, we all know.
Me and the hat heading out.
Oh, the hat will be in.
Oh, the hat will be in Chai while you lie.
Tommy will be at the Bill Gray's Tap Room in Chi-Li. It's one of my favorite places.
It's headquarters.
Folks
right?
out there are awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone that works there is fantastic. It's a great place to watch a game.
Yeah.
And on top of all of that.
Wait, what?
Not only is 3 heads on tap, but Tommy Muley is going to be
How
there.
about that?
So go hang out with Tommy 1 o'clock Sunday to watch this Buffalo-Pittsburgh game at the Bill Gray's Tap Room in Chi-Li with your friends from CMF. We are super late. We got to get out of the way.
Okay.
For Kimmy in her dad's Bills sweatshirt this morning.
Yep.
For Tommy in his mom's breast this morning. My name is Pat Duffy. We'll see you next week here in the break room, 6 a.m. on 96.5 WCMF.